Okay. Fire. Cool. Guys, welcome back to the Joyage Kingdom. I'm Cage, your guide. I'll be replacing the voice inside your head for now, giving you a break from the constant internal monologue that is the human mind. I want to say first, thanks for listening and reviewing on whatever platform you're on. If you haven't already, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, join the kingdom. If you're in Spaces, bottom right icon, retweets, likes, comments, shares, the whole Leap thing. He put us on. Shout out Leap for that. Otherwise, I would not have known to even ask for that. But all that helps, and it pushes the space out. Today we have. Can I be cheesy real quick?
Yes, sir.
All right. Today we have the CryptoGorilla motherfucking interview. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. Hey, so excited to talk to you. Thanks for coming on.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah. Well, so people don't know this, but we met at New York for NFT NYC, but it was very fucking brief. And so I think that's why I was so excited for this pod, because especially after I left, it was funny because everyone kept telling me how just super down to earth you were. And I was just like, fuck me, dude. Like, why was he the only guy I somehow didn't get like a full combo with? So I'm excited to talk about all the things, but just starting from there, like, how did you enjoy NFT New York? Have you been to the other events? How did that compare?
I went to, the only other one I went to was Art Basel more recently. And it's really hard to compare the two. They're very different. Art Basel, I literally just went to events, whereas NFT NYC, I did try going to the conference. The conference sucked. Like are you going to NFT NYC this year?
I want to go to all of them. I want to go to the New York one, Miami. There's one in Seattle. There's one in Toronto that Nikki's putting on. I want to try to go as many as I can. And I'm trying to get other people to pay for it though. So I'm like, I did all those vlogs. I was like, all right, I'm gonna put some feelers out, see if someone wants to pay my way there. I'll get some cool video content. But yeah.
Yeah, I might do, so I'm going to do Toronto. I'm doing NFT NYC. I know there's NFT LA. I wanted to do NFT Paris, but I don't think I'm going to go. It's this month, I believe. But no, the conference, like, I don't like it. I'm probably not going to buy tickets unless I get one for free. But the events are awesome. Like, just being able to put a face to the name for everybody, like all the projects, you get to meet all the founders. It's really awesome.
Yeah, man, the NFT NYC for me was crazy, because I remember when I interviewed Crypto Wendy, she was like, man, it's the after parties. It's like the random little like back end doors, and like I don't know, you're like talking on the street. Like, I always reference this when I was at NFT Seattle. I was outside in the street. For some reason, I just started talking to this random guy. It was at the conference, but like we were in the middle of the city, so like I didn't expect him to be an NFT person. And we're like talking, and then somehow like some dude walks out, and they're like, "Yo, Fuderick," and I was just like, "Wait a second." It's like, "Are you Fuderick Douglas? Like the dude who bought that Pudgy Penguin for like $1 million or something?" He was like, "Yeah, man, that's me." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And it was wild, man. So you meet the coolest people there. Do you remember like any specific parties that you went to that were memorable, or any kind of activations? I know people were excited for like Doodles at the SFXW fucking X. I don't know what it is in Texas.
Yeah, I didn't. So I went to the Doodles. The lineup was crazy long, and it started raining. We get in, and then they just make you wait. And I wanted to get to the Kaiju Kings event. That was probably one of that's top 3 for sure, if not like my favorite. The Kaiju Kings. I met so many people, like people from alpha groups that I'm in. I met the Kaiju team, and that was a really great event. Other than that, I got to go to Ape Fest the third night, the one with Future, not the one with like Eminem and Lil Wayne. But the vibe at Ape Fest, like, it makes you want an ape. I didn't have a mutant back then, and I was like, okay, I need to buy one.
Damn, dude, the mutant you have right now is iconic as fuck, though. Like, even though I don't see it very often anymore, it's still so synonymous with like with your brand. Tell me you didn't fucking just like pick a random floor one?
No. I chose it. So I always wanted the orange background just to match my gorilla, like with the orange. And then when Mackie Big Brother like threw his tantrum because they didn't retweet his marketplace or whatever, he just started dumping all his mutants, and I picked one up that he dumped. So I got, it's an M2, and it has the matching captain hat with the like sailor shirt or vice versa. And I was happy. Yeah, I got an M2 around 18 ETH. Now it's down a bit because of the market dump, but it's all good.
That brings me to the first thing I want to talk to you about, because you mentioned this very quickly. You kind of like briefed over it in another interview you did. You talked about one of, I think it was either your biggest flip or one of your biggest flips. You picked up a fucking Genesis Hape, and like, so you picked it up for like literally a few $100, and you sold it for a bajillion X. Can you like tell that story again? Because it was so crazy to hear that.
Yeah, for sure. So it was, I mean, so all the amounts, I know them in Canadian because I'm from Canada. So it was 1,400 Canadian. Maybe it was US. I don't know. It was 0.4 ETH. So I'm just browsing Twitter, and then I see somebody retweets a dope ape, like that Digimental's ape, the one with the white fur hoodie. I was like, yo, this looks sick. I click his profile. I just start digging into him. I see on some random website, I think maybe not random, but Known Origin or one of those,
Yeah.
he had a few apes. So I was like, oh, this guy's actually doing this. And then I realized that I had watched an interview like 2 weeks prior, had like no views. It was an hour long. And I watched the whole thing. It was about Leapin, the metaverse.
Yep.
But in there, the guy was rocking a Bored Ape, a 3D Bored Ape. But they say, I go rewatch it, and they say, oh, it's not a Bored Ape. It's a Hape Beast from Digimental, and he's launching his project. He's going to be opening his Discord in like 2 weeks. So I caught it the day before they opened. Then I DM Digimental. He answers me. His DMs were open, but he didn't want to give me any info.
Yeah.
And I realized he had the Genesis collection. So I picked one up, and he asked me, I told him like, dude, I want to make a video. And then he said like, please don't, because I'm dropping my trailer tomorrow and I want to be the first one to like wow everybody.
Yeah.
But he's like, here, come in the Discord and all. Like I told him I bought a Genesis. So he's like, okay, you could get in, because all the other Genesis holders were in there. And then I realized he had written a message that I think he deleted, but he wrote, any Genesis holder is going to get auto whitelist for this. And there was 3 on the floor. That's what bothers me. I could have got 3.
Why didn't you? How much did you have? A lot of liquid, or like were you just?
No. Back then I had nothing. I would have had to sell my crypto dads, which were at 2.5 ETH. But I drank the Kool-Aid. I thought these things were going to 10 ETH.
So did I.
I didn't want to sell them. And then so I had enough to pick one up, and then still had some liquid to play with. I picked one up, and I knew. I told myself my price to sell was 44 ETH, because back then it was a quarter. Oh, your camera just there you go. Yeah.
Difficulties over here in the Joyage Kingdom.
There you go. Yeah. Back then, a quarter, or 44 ETH was $250,000 Canadian. So that was my price. And dude, I'm broke. Like $0 at this time. I mean, I have money in crypto, but my bank account is in the negative. So my whole family thinks I'm like psychotic for not selling this thing. Then it just keeps pumping. And luckily, I missed the date to sell it, because if you would sell it before mint, like you don't get your whitelist, because they put a cutoff. And luckily, I listed it for 36.69. I remember waking up that morning. I check the Discord, the private Genesis channel, and somebody wrote, "Oh, a floor one sold," because they were watching it like hawks. Because anything that doesn't sell, the Genesis get first dibs, and they wanted to make sure like they get it and not another Genesis. So if I sold it, they want to take away my whitelist, like the community, not the team. But I was so happy. I got to mint 2, plus I flipped it, so for 36.69.
All right, here's my follow up.
Yeah.
Do with that money.
I left some of it in ETH, some of it I swapped out, and I pulled out some money. Now I'm pretty good at taking profits. And
Hell yeah. Okay, that's great to hear, because every time I've made a cool flip, I have immediately turned around and lost all of it. Like it's like a cause effect. Like I make money, I lose it immediately after. Like I remember I traded a shit coin. I told Easy about this the other day. I made like $700 or $800, like an 8x. I just like threw $100 into this meme coin. Or no, it was what was it? It was Top G coin when Andrew Tate was popping. And I bet on that, and I made like almost like a 10x on that. Took my money out and then put that money into another coin called NPC token, because apparently Elon Musk was linked to something to do with NPCs. Lost out. I lost every single cent of that money, because I was like, you know what? If I even do the same thing I did, but with 700 this time, I'm gonna make a few $1,000. So I put all of it in, lost it within 24 hours. So that's been my strategy here throughout Web3.
Yeah, lately I'm bad at it. Like I broke my rule where I started just buying stuff and losing money. But especially back then, I was very good at like no flip, get out, and then just take profits, or like at least leave it in ETH. Don't buy NFTs with it unless like I have crazy conviction.
Yeah, dude. So tell me about this, because I told you this earlier off stream, but I've got like a list of questions that I'm super excited to ask. Just because you're someone who I feel like falls under the category of like a very, how do you say this? A YouTuber that can cover a whole lot of stuff. Like Giancarlo, he can cover like anything he wants in the NFT space.
It's a great channel,
character, right? So like, what is the theme that you kind of followed and you drank the Kool-Aid for in 2022? Is that changing in 2023? Are you changing your approach to trading versus content versus like how you're just playing in NFT land at all?
To be honest, I don't trade as much. Like I'll buy some NFTs. I don't do like degen plays or anything like that. I just don't have the time. Like I bought into Underground, and I just realized very quickly, I don't have time to keep up with this. So it's a great community, like great people. I ended up selling mine. I'm in some communities where I trade. I don't use them. So my community trades. I know a lot of great traders. They'll DM me some plays sometimes. I don't do that much trading. I'm very focused on content creation, NFTs. I'm not jumping on the AI train. I'm not jumping
Mhm.
on. I debated doing. I saw Champ started doing interviews, which are great, amazing interviews. I've debated doing that. I might start doing it with projects or
Interesting.
founders or like big people, but no, I just want to keep doing the content. And now I have like a consistent schedule every Tuesday, every Friday. So I'm just going to keep doing
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Um, how much has your opinion on NFTs changed? I mean, you've been here for a long, long time. So how's your opinion changed? And I mean, even right now, we're having this whole thing on. I don't know if you saw this debacle on Twitter about open edition NFTs, and it's
Yeah.
split right down the fucking middle as everything is. How much has your opinion on NFTs changed just in general? Because there's a whole variety of ways people take it. Some people are about the art, some people are about the gaming, some people are about like building and like numbers and tokenomics. Some people are about trading.
I think a lot of people have a niche. So gaming, art. I think most people, 99% even, are here just to make money. They like to say community and art and all this stuff. They're just lying to themselves, or I just don't believe them. Like even founders, even artists, like with the open edition thing, people are so shocked to discover that artists like money too. Like, did you see the Nest Graphics
Oh God,
controversy?
no!
He
Wait, what
he
happened?
he sold his open edition for, he made like 2.2 mil or some number, and great for him. Like, I have no hate. The dude he's been putting work into his art. If he can sell it, by all means do it. And then he immediately posts on Instagram that he bought a new G-Wagon, and then everybody was tweeting about it, like shitting on him.
That is the okay. Wow.
But yo, more
Okay.
power to him, dude, if he
Yeah,
if
I
he
guess
can
so,
do it.
bro.
So
Yeah.
to answer your first
Yeah.
question, my opinion on NFTs hasn't really traded. When I first got into here, and I have no shame of saying it, it's to make money, like
Yeah.
ethically. Like, I haven't, not that it's unethical to drop a collection, but I haven't dropped a collection, and I feel I can make like 7 figures if I did a collection. I haven't, I didn't do any open edition. I did do any of this stuff. I feel it's a great way to make money,
Mhm.
and like, any way you can make money, like, do it. As long as you're not scamming people, I have no problem. So my
Yeah.
opinion hasn't changed. I see a ton of utility when it comes to art, when it comes to gaming. But for these degen flips, we're just playing PvP. I feel
Mhm.
like everybody who's here, they understand the rules. If you don't, I don't know why you're here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love it. It's the Wild West, and I hope it never changes, but it definitely will change. And the money's going to slow down when it changes.
What do you think about that conversation when people are talking about the money side where they're like, it needs to be like I've seen people say like free NFTs are the way through, like for the future. And I'm like, okay, but like, are they gonna care because it's free? Like in the same way I mean, I guess right now, like the verified thing, even though you can pay $11 literally and have a check, it still means like a little bit when I see a check. Like I'll look at a profile a little bit longer if I see a check, just
Agreed.
because like in my head. But what are your thoughts on that? Like, will capitalism in a sense always kind of like plague Web3? Will that always be the main driver behind it, or can it go on without the capitalistic trading part of it?
No, I think it's always going to be there. The free thing works if you're like VC backed, if you have money. If
Mhm.
not, you can't expect an entire team of people to just work for free.
Yeah.
So I see both
Why,
sides to it.
why haven't you dropped a collection, by the way? I think you've maybe talked about it briefly, but
It's too much pressure, dude. I've put together. I had somebody writing, like, he wrote an amazing story. We had lore to do with like a gorilla, and it was like these space pirates or whatever you want to call it. I've thought of doing an art pass, just like the memes. I've had so many ideas. I've put them down on paper. I started working on them, and then I'm always like, nope, nope. I fell down the trap. I
yeah,
think it's people don't realize you're starting a brand new company, and I can't manage. I don't have the time to do it.
it's permanent too. Like I mean,
Yeah,
you've done an excellent job, like uh, operating Web3, but playing around. Like you had like the monthly subscription thing that I think Nate had as well, and a few other people that I know. Dude, that was the fucking move. Like you crushed it with that decision, and it's not like permanent. It's like one of those like, okay, like if there comes a day where 0 people are in, I guess we're just done, and like no harm, no foul, we're good. But with
exactly.
an NFT, it's sitting there, and everyone's looking at the floor every day, saying like, oh, if it's down, there must be nothing going on. If it's up, there must be a lot going on. It's like, well, that means it's just attention versus there's not a lot of attention.
Yeah. No, I've debated plenty of time. I even took a vote with my community, like, should we drop an NFT? They all wanted it.
Yeah.
I get it from their end. It's like, hey, do you guys want something that's going to be worth 2, 5, whatever price ETH?
Mhm.
Who's going to say no? And it gives them, the day they want to leave, it gives them exit liquidity. What
Yep.
I don't like is what you said. At the end of the day, there's somebody holding the bag, especially
Yeah.
if it's somebody who buys in on secondary. Let's say my pass, it's only 100 people. If it went to 10 ETH, not that I think it would go there, but if it went to 10 ETH, somebody buys in during a bear, it's at 2, there's a 0% chance I could provide them with 10 ETH of value. Like, it's very
Mm.
difficult.
Yeah, I remember Gary Vee talking about that. He was like, "What do I do if someone buys the VeeFriends at the top in the top of the bull run peak? They buy the absolute top." He goes, "I can't help those people." He's like, "To them, I just hope they love me." He's like,
Yeah,
"Because
no,
otherwise,
yeah.
like, you're fucked."
And it's like you said, if somebody wants to leave, or they can cancel, and
Yeah.
they hopefully got the value for the time they were there, and it's not this lifetime expectation that I'm just going to do this until I'm 200 years old.
Yeah. I mean, I played around with it. Like, I dropped my collections before I even started the YouTube game. Like, it was like 3 months maybe before I posted an NFT YouTube video, and mine were just photography pieces. I hadn't taken that many photos, so I made just 2. They were really small, like 20, and then 26 in the other collection. They're really tiny. Dropped them. The first one sold out just because it was a photography wave. I just got lucky. The second one I posted, no one bought it for months, and then I posted a YouTube video a few months after I started doing YouTube and sold the second collection out, and then for a while they weren't anything. They were just art pieces that I sold, had nothing really to do with the brand. And then I was like, dude, fuck it. My brand's all about like rolling dice on yourself, taking chances, like go like take a chance on you. I was like, these pictures like are actually a great representation of that because I left on that trip and like the whole brand came from that trip. So this makes sense. So I just kind of turned those pieces, really exclusive, limited edition, to art pieces that are also like NFTs to symbolize, you being on this Joyage, you supporting my brand and these kind of things. Dude, you could definitely do that because you've got a whole crowd of people who like you for you, not just the alpha you bring. And when you got the alpha and you got the personality, bro, that's pretty unstoppable.
I've debated doing something with art. I think if I ever actually did an art collection that wasn't like some sort of art pass, I'd probably start like a secret personality, and I just wouldn't tell
Mm.
people that it's my collection, to see if I actually could release good art that they don't just buy because it's me, but because
You
they
start
like
a
the art.
separate, like, Twitter identity for that? I have a secret Twitter, but I have posted 0 things on it in 3 months because I don't know what to do with it. I just started it because I was like, "This would be cool," and then I was like, I don't know, like, what to talk about or who to talk to. I was like, "Okay, this is stupid," but I have it on my phone. I just haven't used it.
I have burners, like, to when I
Yeah?
don't feel like retweeting an alpha bot. I go to different browser and the burn is connected, and I just retweet from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it would be a completely different, like, fully branded Twitter account that I don't even follow from my main because I don't
Yeah.
want anybody to detect it.
Damn, that's interesting. Because my photography is good enough to where I would hope that I could get to a high, like, floor price kinda thing, like a high value on their own, but I know they'll go higher if they're tied to my brand just because I
Mm.
wanna keep going, and, like, dude, my head has always been in the clouds, but, like, especially in Web3, it's, like, far in the fucking clouds. Like, I'm a metaverse maxi. Like, when I saw Ready Player One, that shit blew my fucking mind, and, like, Avatar, like, those movies, like, really screw me up because 'cause I'm like, that should be possible, and I don't see why more people don't think it is in a very, very literal sense. Like when I see those things and I see like cyberpunk photos on Instagram and stuff, I'm like, guys, I feel like that's closer than we think. What are your thoughts on that? And like, how far are you trying to go into Web3 and what direction? Like, are you trying to be a YouTuber? Are you trying to do streaming? Like, do you have a vision on like where you're trying to be in 5, 10 years?
I really wanna get into gaming for multiple parts. One of them, obviously, investing and making
Yeah.
money and just the networking, but I love playing games. Like, I just play games on my own. I mean, I've uninstalled it 50 times, but I used to play League of Legends.
Oh shit.
Lately, I got the new COD, but I'm very good at deleting games because I know I'm gonna play too much. So I got Call of Duty, I beat the campaign. I started abusively playing, and I'm like, "Nope," and I deleted it.
It's a piece. How
Yeah.
about Doogie Dash?
I've played a lot, but I ended up just paying somebody else to hit a higher score, and it's already going down. I'm like, I had
Shit.
470K, and now I'm about to be out of the top 500, so I'm gonna have to.
Rip.
But no, I hit 220K with a tier 3, and I hit
Okay.
196 with a tier 1. But I'm not good enough. Dude, these kids have. I'm 33. Like, these kids have reflexes. Like, I watch them play, and it looks so easy, and I'm like, yeah, I can't do this.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned your age because that literally was the direction I was going in, which was like you talked about in a YouTube video you posted, which I was very glad you posted. I even reached out to you after because it was I was just glad you posted. It was cool to know that about you. And I'm sure a lot of people don't know this because it's really I only found that information in that one video that you talked about it. You talked about how you literally fucking grinded for like almost a decade, broke as fuck, like not making any money, which I can vibe with heavy. Mine was not nearly that long. It was closer to like 2 years. But I feel you there when you're like completely broke, like literally no money in your bank account and you kept going. My question is, how do you do that for 8 years? Because I did it for like 1.5 and I almost died.
I guess I'm very stubborn, and I'm very, like, set in my ways. Like, no, I'm gonna do this to show them or for myself, whatever the reason is. It was fun too most of the time. I was hanging out with my friends. Like, when the first few years we had our house to ourselves, like, we were four, and we would host Halo LAN parties where like we'd have 4 Xboxes and huge tournaments, and I liked the lifestyle of it. And luckily I worked at a bank before, so I had a nice credit line. So I was able to, if ever I had to go in debt, like I still had
Bro.
money to survive. But no, it was rough, especially the final years. I was living with like two guys in an apartment for two, or yeah, two other guys in an apartment for 2 people. So one of
Yeah.
my friends was living in the living room. Like it's not a pleasant situation, especially when you hit 30. Like it doesn't look good. All my
Mhm.
friends are buying houses, having kids and stuff, and I'm
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. Like, how did you feel, especially towards the end, because you were getting older, and like some people are getting like my exact age. He's got a fucking house and a wife. Like
mm.
and a kid. He's got a kid right now. I was like, bro, I literally can't even like get a text back.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
24. Nice,
Yeah.
lucky man, lucky. Uh, yeah, no. Wait, what was the question?
I was gonna ask like what it was like at towards the end of that journey because you were
Mm.
approaching your later 20s and like how that was. Just
It's
yeah.
rough, dude. It's rough. It's unpleasant, especially we kept trying to do startups and they would fail. And
Mm,
we're really good at putting our head down and building. We weren't good at networking or just asking our clients like, do you want this? Is this something you would pay for? Or not asking them enough, because we'd ask them, they'd say yes. But when it came time to do it, they wouldn't pay. And it would take us a year to get there. So you
yeah.
need to fail really fast or get them to pay first and then go build it. So the last year was really rough. Like even my friends can tell, I would hang out with them and they could tell, they would talk to each other privately, like, damn, he looks down. They want
Yeah.
to help me. They don't know what to do to help me. And I would tell them like, guys, I have to help me. And I just needed to find my passion or what I liked. And I didn't know what it was. And you could
Yeah.
try things, but luckily I found it. It's NFTs. And, had I tried to find that 4 years into my, the grind, NFTs didn't exist back then, or
Yeah.
I didn't know, like I knew about crypto, but I didn't know enough. So I didn't even know this thing existed. So how am I supposed to find it?
Yeah, dude. I see Menace says I have a house, wife, and 2 kids, and I'm probably the biggest DGen you know. Shout out Menace for that. Um, dude, yeah, there was somewhere I was gonna go with that. I can't even remember what I was gonna say, but do you like have you been able to get out of your grind mindset? Like, have you always been like that? I know in that video you talked about a period of time where you got kind of lazy, but I couldn't remember if that was before this whole period or if it was after and you kind of burned out. But you know what it's like to go from to be someone who grinds heavy and then also be a lazy piece of shit. I also have that same like I've definitely been a lazy piece of shit in certain periods and definitely on the ball in certain periods. Do you think people who are like ultra achievers do they literally just not switch off 24/7 every year of their life?
Yeah, that's what I think. Like since I started NFTs, there's probably not a single day where I haven't been on Discord. Even when I
Wow.
go on vacation or I go see my friends, I'll go to, events with my friends or giant house parties where we all go sleep there. And like it's 1 a.m. and I have my laptop out in the living room just because all I can think about is work. And I want to go see my Discord. I want to see what's happening. So I have trouble with the whole work-life balance, but I don't think it bothers me because this is what I want to be doing.
Yep.
But the switching off. So I had 7 years of, I think, really, grinding, not stopping, 7 days a week, like from the time I wake up to the time again, I would go to the gym, I'd play video games, I'd still do stuff, but I was very disciplined. And
Yeah.
the final year, when my co-founder went to get a job, he moved out with his girlfriend, then I really fell off. And
Mhm.
yeah, the grind kind of stopped. I guess because of that, maybe that change in setting where he went to get
Yeah.
a job. I was just like, oh, I started playing League of Legends. But it was good because then I started YouTube as a result.
True.
Yeah.
Damn. It was cool because I talked to Cool Times the other day, and he was telling me about, like, his origin story, and I feel like all of us, like, birthed from like, for me, I forget exactly. Oh, no, no, no. I got into, like, to NFTs mainly because the first thing that got me in was obviously the money, just seeing, like, the ability for people to make so much money, but then I remember joining a couple Discords, and at that point, I had been living in my car for, like, the past, like,
Oh
3 or
wow.
4 months at that point, and I was sort of traveling. I was broke as fuck, but I was trying to do, like, a travel photography thing, and I
Mm.
had, like, a little bit of money saved up. I lost a lot of it in the crypto crash, like, 90% of my net worth. I lost everything. So I had literally a couple $1,000 and I was driving, but I was alone. I was completely isolated. I was basically living in, like, national parks and fucking Walmarts and stuff like that, right? So
By
I remember I
choice.
was kinda lonely, and the communities of Discords, like, that actually got me interested because I was like, "Whoa, I've never been part of this." I know I wasn't a gamer growing up, so I'd never experienced, like, fucking I don't even know, like, gaming rooms and, like, these things where people talk and communicate. Like, I just never operated like that. Everything was always one way for social media. It was like the content creator speaks to the audience, and then audience can, like, do comments back and stuff, but I never
Mm.
experienced that entire thing. Um, I literally have no idea where I was going with that either. It was just something that popped in my head. You have so now that you kind of have way more, you know, everything. You have more money, you have more connections, you have more clout, so you're able to get things done differently. How has your time spent changed since you were kind of getting started bootstrapped versus now you got some money, you got some followers, you got some of the things you built over the past year, basically. How does that change your schedule day to day?
If anything, I work even more, and I
Mhm.
have to be way more strict with my schedule. Like I can't. I love hanging out in voice chats,
Yeah.
and I can't. When I find sometimes I do that a few days in a row too much, and I
Mhm.
really fall behind. And then it's hard to keep up with my video schedule. It's hard to keep up
Yeah.
with meetings. I miss meetings and stuff. So now I have to be a lot more organized. I have like the Calendly where people can book between certain times. I every day like I have it open on the screen to make sure I don't miss anything. I guess I'm just a lot more strict with my time, where before, even though I was working a lot, I kind of just did what I want. I was building
Yeah.
websites, I was coding, so I could do what I want. Oh, 2 hours for a client's website, 2 hours of learning, 30 minutes of like watching a show, whatever I wanted. Now
Yeah.
it's like very strict. And I literally work from the moment I wake up until the moment I go to bed. Like I'm on Discord. It's the last thing I do.
What are the things you're not doing anymore? Like, is there any like tedious tasks that you have been able to outsource?
Yeah, so I have a great team. I have somebody who handles all of the like the Google Sheets and tracking all the projects when they're minting and stuff, updating all the dates for my community. We also have great channels for every single project we have, uh,
Mhm.
like a calendar, but of channels. So you can click it, you can see all the links. And then I also hired somebody else. You might know that's Michael. And then the new one I hired is LTR. He
Oh
works with
yeah,
a
I know
ton of
LTR.
projects. Yeah, he's a hustler.
Dude, he
He
really is,
handles
man.
all my collabs. Yeah, he's a
Oh
hustler. I'm
shit, he
I'm
is,
very
okay.
happy that I found him. Michael was there from like day one, and then
Nice,
LTR I recently found him,
nice.
and we were chatting, and then I was just like, "Yo, I gotta hire this guy. He's bringing in so many whitelists for like golden eggs, and
Yeah.
it's been a blessing."
Dude, is that the secret? Is that the secret between keeping people happy inside of a monthly Discord? Is it the whitelist or are there other things?
No, no, whitelist,
Just
100%.
whitelist?
Yeah, well, we have so it's only 100. There's a long wait list to get in, so I could expand it,
Yeah.
but I've raised the price 2 times, and I let them vote. I said, "Hey, either I add more people or I raise the price," and it was like a 96% raise the price. I get DMs like,
Wow.
"Please never like do it. I'll pay more. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Never let more people in." So they like that it's
Mhm.
only 100 because their odds of winning whitelists are better. And I
Yeah.
guess it's much more like a family as well. Over 50% have been there since October 2021. So everybody knows each other. Like
That's dope.
we hang out in voice chat all the time, and like I know their lives. I know their personal lives. I know their
Yeah.
names. We open our cameras sometimes. So yeah.
Mhm. Damn, dude, that's wild. That is fucking wild. That's a very interesting perspective you have because you're able to run that and it's so successful and, um, I don't know. That's interesting. You have an interesting like spot in the NFT space. So this question is interesting to me to ask you. What do you think that we need more of and less of in Web3 without giving me an NPC answer of like we need I don't even know like I don't know what an NPC fucking answer is, but like what do we need more of in Web3 you think? If anything. Maybe
We need
not.
more VC money to pump our bags.
For
I
real.
guess I want to see Web2 company or let's call them legit projects or legit companies coming in, actually doing it right.
Mhm.
Because every time they come in, they do it wrong, and then those are the projects that get talked about in public. No, the public isn't, or like Web2 or the norm, whatever you want to call them. They're not
Mhm.
talking about like crypto dick butts. They're
Yeah.
going to talk about Porsche, or they're going to talk about whatever NFT launches and how it does, or like the Trump NFT, and they're
Yep.
just going to judge that, and the entire space is going to be judged off of the performance of that.
Mm.
And less, I mean, obviously less, less scams, but I don't know. I wouldn't change a thing. Like I like that it's the wild, wild west. I like that we have this rotation of metas. Everything comes in weight. Right now we're seeing the
Yeah.
open edition meta. And then next we're going to see, I don't know, photography meta. And then after that, that's where you'll shine. And then
Yeah.
after that, we're going
Yeah.
to see a gaming meta. And I'm really excited for the
Dude,
gaming
I am
meta, but
excited for that too.
yeah, you're telling me you're getting more
Yeah,
into
dude,
gaming.
I'm
Yeah.
excited about that. Hopefully, I get into that club thing. No, yeah, the gaming world's gonna be cool. I also share that sentiment in the idea of like I enjoy the waves because they're temporary. They always come and go. And like by the time you've been like, okay, you know what, maybe this one's here to stay. It's like that second you decide that, then it moved on. So like
Yeah.
I kind of like it, and it reminds me of like the real world kind of in a sense because it's not permanent.
Mm.
Also, like the conversation we see a lot is like, well, what especially with that through game, they're like, it's not here yet, it's not there yet. Until we have this, we won't have that. And I'm like, my angle of that is like, even if we had all the things you're saying, we still, as a human being culture, except for us 10,000 people, like are not ready to do something like that. And the example I go to is like, if Neuralink was ready tomorrow, we just like as a human culture are not ready to like do that yet. Like I would not be comfortable doing Neuralink because we need more immersive steps where I can take a smaller step forward, before the iPhone does something where I'm like, okay, I've experienced something similar to Neuralink and I'm more apt to like try something like that. And with blockchain gaming, I don't know what exactly it is other than time that's going to get people to like bother to care about having assets outside of the game and really owning them until it's just more of a thing. When more content creators talk about it, when the social medias, maybe they all have a coin, and we saw Twitter's trying to do that. They're all going to be competing with each other. It's a very capitalistic centered world right now in social media, and everything's about like getting all the attention. So whoever can like entice everyone is doing that.
Mm.
That's just my thoughts on the whole thing with Web3 gaming and then the NFT narrative in general.
I think things need to get a lot more simpler. Like you saw the Doodles announcement and everybody was flooding them because they're going with flow, but I get what they're trying to do. They want things to be as simple as possible. Like until my dad knows how to buy NFTs, we're probably not going mainstream,
Right.
So we need to make things a lot more simpler for people to use. And that's not necessarily through me or you or doing a tutorial. It's by them being able to open an app and just buy an NFT and not even know that it's on a blockchain or that it's even an NFT. They're going to buy a digital collectible
Yeah.
and they're going to be happy.
Yeah, man, especially because we're seeing like literally. I mean, I got hacked a few months ago. I lost World of Women NFT. I saw NFT God lost literally fucking everything just on a click. His was a little bit less like of a Web3 error. He was trying to download OBS, a streaming
Mm.
software, and just clicked the ad that popped up on Google, the first one, and it was like obs.con or something like that. And
Oh,
he just
wow.
downloaded fucking malware, and it took everything from him. But we are seeing people get wiped and like they'll have their assets stolen, they'll connect their wallet to something and they lose it all. And I'm like, guys, fuck, like that shit cannot happen. Like that is that kind of dumb shit cannot happen where people are, I mean, if they're losing $100 assets, different, but to lose like a $300,000 Bored Ape or something because you accidentally did something, I'm like, that cannot happen. It just literally can't happen. And then when things like FTX happen, it just fucking like punches us right in the face, because that's more of a human error problem. What were your thoughts on that whole thing, by the way, the FTX situation?
It's funny because the FTX thing feels way more of a Web 2 thing, but it's
Right?
like they're blaming all the crypto people, but it's like, no, this is like politicians and there's a lot of weird stuff going on here and it has nothing to do with, crypto degens. Yeah, that obviously sucked, but I had heard like the rumors and I knew it was coming at one point, so I
Oh
wasn't
shit.
shocked, but
Yeah, because then they all kind of cascaded. Everything sort of fell apart. Everyone was screaming, "Get your money off crypto exchanges." So
yeah.
everyone was like laughing because they're like, "Oh, I guess crypto's dead." And I was like, "I don't know, man. I feel like that kind of like helped. Well, it helped a certain subset of people in crypto. Like some people really care about that a lot.
Mm.
You
I
know?
think it's, for the whole recession to be in, if you trust Mr. Wonderful, even though he was involved in the whole FTX debacle, he says you need a big player to fail. And
Yeah,
hopefully it was FTX and we don't have another one that fails. But it was something that was needed for, the bear market. And hopefully now it's up only, even though the
yeah,
FOMC meeting is like in 12 hours and we might be going way down.
Oh fuck, you're right.
Did you
Speaking
see
of, huh?
Did you see Jim Cramer just said time to buy, and then
Did he
at the
really?
same yeah at the same time the dude from The Big Short, Mike, what's his name, Michael, the guy from The Big Short tweeted sell, like, and people are putting all their tweets together, like this dude's saying sell, this guy who's always wrong is
Yo,
saying buy, like we're probably going down.
fuck. That is hilarious. Well, speaking of fucking the degens of NFT land that we all are, gonna ask a philosophical question here. Can you be successful and smoke weed?
I think so. I mean, I used to smoke. I haven't smoked in 7, 8 years,
Mhm.
but I used to smoke, and some of my greatest, my greatest semester at school, or my best performing semester, was when I started smoking. And
Really?
then, yeah, then I quit my job and I went to work to code. And one of the reasons I've never said this publicly, but one of the reasons I could work for so many hours was because I would smoke and I was happy doing it. I was like in my
Oh,
own little world. I enjoyed school. I enjoyed working. I enjoyed learning. And I think it like opened that up to me. Like I could see, wait, this could actually be fun. It could be fun to learn and to put in work instead of just like it's a task and then I want to go play video games. So I definitely think you can. Everything in moderation is, I think it's fine.
mhm.
So as long as you're able to control it, if it starts to consume your life, then definitely you need to make a change, which
Yeah,
for me, that's kind of what happened. And then I'm very on off. Either I do something all the way or
yeah,
I don't do it at all. There's no like in between. So I just decided I'm not doing this anymore, and I went cold turkey. I used to smoke cigarettes, same thing, and luckily I've never really drank, so I
Mm.
very rarely drink, so I've never had that issue.
Is um I asked that question because I always wonder that question because I'll go through cycles where I won't smoke at all, and I know for a fact I'm more effective sober. Like, for a fact, I know anyone who says they're not, like, that is false. You are better sober. But I also remember that every time I would go sober, like around the 4-month mark or so, I would just be like, I would just get this feel. I'm just like, man, I just like want to be able to smoke and not have it be like a thing. Like, I don't want to just like fall back into this hole of like smoking weed kind of thing,
Mm.
which I feel like is very, very common for people. And especially in this Web3 world, we have a lot of people who are entrepreneurial in nature. That's kind of why everyone's here, I feel like, or at least have some kind of interest in there. But also, a lot of people smoke weed, and there's a lot of conflicting advice that goes around, and like everyone has a different story on that. Do you have anyone you look up to in Web3 as far as like a role model? Do you have anyone?
I would say role model. There's definitely people that, I respect a ton of people, and I'll look at certain people's YouTube channels, and try to replicate them or try to, you know, have the same success they have. I wouldn't say there's anybody that I look up to though.
How about non-Web3, just people in general that you've seen, social media people maybe, or celebrities, or dad? I don't know.
I guess dad, great father,
Yeah.
both my parents, amazing parents. They've always been there for me. I guess business people, I don't know, like the typical ones. Like you look at the super successful people, like the Elon Musks of the world, who are doing crazy stuff. Mr. Beast, I guess Mr. Beast is a good one, man.
He's
Doing
a
great
monster.
things. Yeah, but no, there's not really anybody that I wouldn't say I look up to. There's probably people that you want to try to be a bit more like, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you had role models, like, growing up, like, when you were younger? Do you remember? Because I feel like I've talked to a lot of people, and it seems like, um, a lot of people either had, a family life that was very satisfying, and, like, there was lots of love, and, like, the parents were good at communicating that, and, like, everyone felt good, and, like, they instilled confidence in the kid, and then a lot of people who had the opposite, where they felt like neglect kinda thing. But it's interesting because a lot of those same people end up at the same place in life. Like, we all end up as entrepreneurs or something, and it's interesting kinda just asking people's what that was like for people.
About like my family
Like, growing
situation,
up.
like
Yeah, it's like growing up, like, was it like a good childhood? Did you, like, look back on with nostalgia, or
yeah, I think I had like a normal childhood, no crazy bad. I think every family has, their ups and downs and
yeah.
issues, but I don't have anything crazy bad. I have a great family. My parents are together.
Mm,
We used to go on vacations together. They sent me to, they would pay for private school. They would pay for a ton of stuff.
mm,
I've never had I guess I had an easier childhood. I didn't like struggle or anything like that. And then, but it was still like, oh, you're 16, you have to go to work. They still had like and do chores and everything,
yeah,
help out around the house. They still, taught me good values. And then, yeah, my dad always wanted me to go in business. That's why I went to business school.
oh, it is?
Yeah, I didn't like business school. I should have gone to film school. That's what I should have gone to.
Oh,
If I can
shit,
go
no
back and do it
way.
again, yeah, I would have gone to
Wow,
film school. I just didn't know that. But I had made a YouTube channel with some friends when I was young, video reviews on products. And we also did some skits. And I absolutely loved. That's when I knew like I definitely have to do something with YouTube when I'm
yeah,
older. But yeah, no, I went to business school just for the degree to be able to get a job, and then I started working at a bank again because he wanted me to work at a bank. So I was kind of following in his.
mm,
He's in business, he's in sales, he's an amazing salesman. He loves to travel and do
yeah,
sales as well, and that's what he wanted for me. But it's just not what I wanted. Although funny enough, I'm doing advising, so I'm still in
yeah.
sales. But
It's funny, like, I remember growing up, I was trying so hard not to be like my dad. Like, the older I get, I'm like, just like, "Fuck, dude." I'll say something or I'll notice something, I'm like, "Wow, bruh." Like, no matter how far you run, you end up somehow,
yeah,
like, coming back in a roundabout way.
yeah, like in that Tyler, I forget the song Tyler created. There's a song where he says, "Whatever you run from, it's what you end up becoming," and
Really, bro.
it's very true. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I remember, like, for so long, I thought my dad was such a nerd because he was in computer science, and I was like, "Bro, who the fuck is in computer science?" I was like, "It's such a nerdy thing to do." It's like, I always thought of him like that, and then, like, I always wanted to work in innovation. I didn't know what that sounded like, and now I'm literally working in, like, Web3, where it's, like, computer scientists everywhere and, like, coders everywhere, and now my dad's a fucking stud because he, like, works in Silicon Valley, and, like, 10 years ago, that wasn't that cool, and now, like, all these streamers are cool, people who
Yeah.
TikTok are cool. Like, I remember a time where YouTube was not cool, and I was embarrassed to tell anyone. Like I was like
Mm.
in middle school, and I remember my friends would find out I have YouTube channels and would literally just like make fun of me, and I would just do everything I could to make sure nobody knew about it. And now, if you're a YouTuber, you're popular, most popular person in the room.
Or even like all the things that were geeky, like I don't know, playing video games and like liking comic books and
Karate,
superheroes, or
MMA, stuff like that. Now
yeah,
it's
yeah,
big.
yeah, MMA, yeah, or anime, and now
Yeah.
everybody's like, we're paying 30 grand for an anime PFP because it's cool.
Well, that honestly, that whole thing, like we brought up earlier with cycles, uh, intrigues me because everything is so it's like always so temporary in the sense that I remember there are times in the bull run of NFTs that I would not I wouldn't do something and I would watch other content creators maybe do it and I would do it and I wouldn't do it, sorry, because I felt like in 3 years, me not doing it would like pay off in a weird way, like some weird immoralistic, I don't even know. In my head, I was like, maybe it makes better sense to be immoral now because in 3 years it'll matter and people will remember that. And then it was interesting because as we've gone, like there's been people that I made content with in like the fall of 2021 that I literally don't even know where they are anymore. They just stopped. It's like never
Mm.
seen haven't seen them in like 9 months. And I'm like, what was the point of like building that relationship if like a year or two later I'm never going to talk to them again? Like, what was the point of that? And I guess the answer was like the point of it was to spend that time with them during the time that they were there. And
Mm.
like with the cycles, it's like to kind of do things and take opportunities and try new things while it's there in the limelight. Like that's kind of what Brett was saying with AI content. He's like, why would you not? It's like, why would you
Mm.
not see what AI's got to do while we have this attention on AI? And it got me thinking just a little bit differently in regards to that. I don't know if you have any thoughts on what I just kind of word
Yeah,
vomited.
the people think, I think, it's like seasons, right? They come into your life once and then they might come back in the future, and then maybe there's another opportunity, or even just, you catch up and
Mm,
see what they're up to. The AI thing, I had spoken to Brett about it as well, and he made a really good point. He's like, you can get a whole new audience. And then when NFTs start to become popular
mm,
again, that audience, now you brought in a bunch more people who had no idea or no interest in NFTs. They just wanted to know about AI. They subscribe to you, they start watching you. And now you're almost doing like a favor, like you're bringing more people into the space.
yeah.
So it's a good way to like Trojan horse them.
Mhm.
But the AI thing, I think a lot of them are also doing it definitely for the views, because I don't know about your subscribers. I've been at 39K for
Yeah.
3 months, 4 months, whatever
10.9 for a
time.
while.
Yeah, yeah. It's bricked hard. And as soon as I started making AI content, like they're just blowing up. Or not even AI. Like I said, Champ started doing interviews
Yep.
and he's been seeing growth again, which is
Mhm.
great. So if you could switch it up, although it can affect, I guess, long term with the algorithm, like YouTube might not like it. Like when I uploaded those videos, that's the ones talking about my life. I worried about that. Like, how's YouTube going to view this, and how's my
Mm,
audience going to view it? Luckily, I got a lot of positive feedback about the videos themselves. I don't know if YouTube liked it because they kind of bricked
right.
it and stopped sharing it. But yeah, I'm personally not, or probably I don't want to say not because I might do it, but right now I'm not planning on doing any AI content unless it fits in with NFTs.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of in that boat too. What are your thoughts on like the like for me, some good arguments in my head that make sense for like why the blockchain world seems to be a promising future as far as like it makes it for me, it sounds like a natural next step for immersive technology is to eventually get to a place where the NFTs and the blockchain would make sense to be literally the answer to God's gift of everything kind of thing. And people will not go on a show that like Jimmy Fallon anymore to talk about their book who are famous. They'll like make a YouTube channel instead and post it because they have full like control over that. They get to post on YouTube and they don't have to like, I don't know, they get to keep all the attention for themselves. They get to curate themselves. They control the narrative, how it comes out. Like people like Logan Paul are turning down opportunities because they'd rather do the show on their own YouTube channel.
Mm,
And like we're seeing more people do that and transition away from like the original media where you get hired by a company, they tell you what to do. You're basically just you're reading off a script. And then we move to this YouTube thing where everyone's got their own communities. And then it seems like the most natural next step is for people to be like, okay, now I want to own the content because I don't like that YouTube tells me which content's going to go and which one's not going to go and which one's going to trend. And we just found out TikTok like controls that from like their HQ. They're like, no, we just pick and choose videos. We're
mm.
like, what? Like, yeah, we literally just pick and choose people. Like, that's why Charlie D'Amelio blew up. We just decided to give her 25 million. And I was just like, what in the fuck? And so it just makes sense that like as we learn more and people realize of the opportunities more and we have like opportunities and expansion, they're like, wait, we want that. And then some big influencer will do it. And then if they're all other friends will do it. It seems like that's natural. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think people are going to want to, especially as there's a censorship. I think people are going to want to make those changes. I mean, I know the 9gag platform that he's trying to build. I guess it's partially so we could own our own content. So I
Yeah.
think we're going to see a lot of these platforms. And yeah, it worries me, YouTube, or if my YouTube channel or my Twitter account got deleted tomorrow, like a big part of my career is potentially over, because
Mhm.
that's where a lot of my followers are.
That
So
terrifies me a little bit.
not actually owning those followers and being able to just transfer it to another platform or some way of connecting them.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's very scary. You're at the whims of this company that they could decide whatever they want. Like, oh, you're not allowed to talk about NFTs
Right.
anymore. And then what do we do?
Yeah. And right now, like, we're seeing Elon Musk. I just saw this article the other day. He was like, "We're trying to make the everything app," and they like
Hmm.
enlisted for like bank stuff, and they're trying to do everything right now. And if that happens, we're all gonna be really happy because we've all decided to put our balls into one basket, which is basically, I mean, yes, we're on YouTube too, but like Twitter is where we live.
Yeah.
It's like the home base.
Hmm.
And if Twitter does indeed become the everything, well, first off, are you like an Elon Maxi, or what are your thoughts on Elon?
Yeah, I like Elon a lot. I respect him a lot for what he's done, and I wouldn't call myself a maxi on
Yeah.
anybody, but no, I'm definitely in the Elon camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of his job so far? I know some people are pissed because all these changes. Some people are like, no, this is expected when this kind of thing happens.
Yeah, I think a bit of both. I was never pissed about anything he's done. I think any company, when they make changes, people get upset. Even Facebook, when Facebook
Mm,
originally switched like the layout, everybody was complaining, no, put it back. And then eventually they just get used to it. And some even realize, oh, this is actually better. Like they
yeah.
knew what they were doing and they did this for a reason. So he's definitely going to break some stuff. As for the everything app, yeah, it makes me think of, apps in China, like they have WeChat or
Mm,
whatever it is. So they already have that there. It just makes sense that we're going to try to do it too. The only thing I didn't like was when, I don't know if he reversed it or not, when he said like you're not allowed to put a Linktree link or link to other
yeah.
social media. I was just
I
like,
don't
what?
know. I
Like,
made another one. I just downloaded like beacons or something, some other
mm,
link tree style of thing.
that made no
Um,
sense. It's like,
yeah.
wait, so should electric car chargers say, oh, you're not allowed to charge a Tesla here? Like, would you
Right.
vote for that? Probably not. So why are you going to do it to us? And also for in our position, like there's a lot of scammers. I
Mhm,
want people to know what my links are. What's my official
right.
Discord? What's my,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a great point actually, because I have my link tree still up. I just don't use the link, but like someone could definitely find that by accident, and
Hmm.
then that could be someone random. You're right. That's actually really weird, especially with Discord.
Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. Well, while we're on like the topic of Elon and Twitter and social media in general, we have seen a change from what people are looking for from content. I talked about this with like Easy and TG Thread Guy, and the idea of like live stream content taking over, and the idea of like TikTok right now. All the TikTok people that are blowing up are these people who are doing these get readies with me, spend a week, or like a vlog style basically is coming back, and we're
Mm.
seeing that's like why I've even made some just to like try it out because it was fun. And like half the people I follow on TikTok are doing them, so fuck me. And then there's these TikTok lives where they'll just like do a green screen and they'll say something absurd in their background, and they'll just have people come up and debate. And like people love sitting on those, but they're all live. Twitter Spaces are blowing up 10 times more than like YouTube videos or Twitch. Like people are loving these spaces and these live streams rather than watching this uh, one flow way of like content creator to the audience. What are your thoughts on that and live stream being the potential new meta for 2023? Are you stoked about that?
Yeah, I mean, no, because I don't do it enough. I rarely do it, but no, I really like it. I heard that YouTube wants to do, they want to master shorts and then they want to move to podcasts.
Hell yeah.
So I like the whole podcast thing, but I need to do more Twitter Spaces. I'm going to be on one tomorrow with Sash
Nice.
from Dimensionals from Mino
Okay.
Games. But yeah, I definitely need to do more. I think it's very dangerous though if people watch too many, especially like spaces that add zero value to your life. It's like
Yes.
with the drama spaces, it's like watching a reality show. Like you're
It
literally
is.
just wasting time. Like you could be, searching for NFTs or learning to code or doing a skill.
Mhm.
Instead, you're just like wasting time listening to somebody's spaces and giving them views. Like it helps their numbers, so they want to keep it entertaining.
Mhm.
It's like clickbait of a Twitter space.
Yeah, it's difficult, and like that's why I enjoyed Leaps because it's a good mix. Like there's definitely some banter. There's definitely hours wasted, but there's
Mm,
also hours that you can like do literally deep learning when he gets certain people on. Like when Gabriel Adian, I don't know how much I trust Gabriel Adian. He's just always up there, so I have no choice but to listen to him all the time. There's just not that many people who are that vocal in the gaming world. So either way, I hear him a lot, and he sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Apparently, he's really successful in the Web2 world.
yeah.
But
He did hyper growth, man. He went from like
yeah.
12K to over half a mil in a couple of months. That's insane. Do you own any digis or villains or
I
anything?
don't, dude. I thought about I may get a villain at some point when the market's cooled off even more, but it's weird to me that the floor on the secondary collection is literally like point 0.4 or point 0.3, And what's Digidagaku's main collection at? Like 10 or something?
Yeah,
Still?
or last I checked, it was above 10. But there's like they have like counting the dragons, which is upcoming at the Super Bowl. They have, I believe, 11 collections if you count the potions.
Oh,
So
oh,
the
okay,
villains are like the ninth
got
collection.
it.
Yeah,
Okay. I just don't know enough about that, yeah, his actual company. I just know he talks
it's
a
a
lot
very
about,
complicated ecosystem. Yeah,
dude, yeah, I need to cover it. I did a small Brilliance review a few months ago or a couple months ago when they first came out, I think, but I need to do an updated one where I actually do a
mm,
deep dive on it. Yeah, I need to. But he talks a lot about like the philosophy of gaming, like culture, and like just not so much of Digidagaku. And so I get a lot of stuff from there, and I learn a lot from there. And so some spaces are worth it for me to spend some time in, but
100%.
it doesn't like it sucks that if the space is 3 hours long, I have to sit there and like spend 3 hours, and I'm like, bro, I can't. Like, I want to
Yeah.
be here to support your show and like listen and learn, but I literally cannot give you 3 hours. And it sucks because I do the same thing. Like, I run shows that I've run 3 hours before. So I'm like, fuck, I try and deliver value, but there's a weird line there when you're doing live content of like entertainment. You cannot hold people without being entertaining. They'll just
Mm,
leave the thing. But then you're also trying to bring value. So it's like, can you provide so much fucking value that you're Gary Vee where people just watch him no matter what? What are your
mm.
thoughts on the whole thing?
Yeah, I hope Elon put something like YouTube, where YouTube we could put thumbnails so you could
Mm,
see what it is. I hope spaces do that. So after
yeah.
the space has happened, I don't have to. Have you ever tried to find a specific spot in a space and you're just clicking through? It's such a pain.
Impossible, dude.
Yeah. And
Literally
even the script,
impossible.
like I'm not going to read through a whole script when a lot of the times, somebody comes on stage, like, thank you for having me up. I love what you're doing. Like copy paste, everybody says that,
Yeah.
especially when they want like a whitelist. Everybody's just saying that. That's the go-to. I don't want to have to read through all that. I don't want to have to listen to all that. So it'd be cool if they had some system where they can highlight moments, where they can
Yeah.
highlight specific parts, or you could clip it like on Twitch and like, hey,
Mhm.
this is a really important part that was educational, that was funny, or that was a hot take. That'd be great if you could highlight
Dude, it would.
moments of a space, post about it, and then you can say, hey, you want to listen to the whole space? It's here.
Yeah, and that'll be cool because, like, with Spaces, I'm interested in how this works because there's no video component, which means if an AI software was written that could edit the audio or just get the transcript, like, you should be able to edit that entire 4 hour, 8 hour space and be able to summarize it in like 10 seconds if
Mm,
you input that somehow the proper way. So that'd be cool because so many people have Twitter Space shows. You can make an animation. I'm just interested to see where it goes because AI, if you can properly use AI and like you can create 10 characters and you can literally make a scene very quickly and very easily, that'll be fun to see just in general. Like, a big reason I'm here in content is because I feel like I cannot live my life without being here to see it all happen. Like, seeing people change, seeing content change, like be here when like VR stuff starts to take off or like augmented reality. Like, I remember in Spy Kids, there's like a scene where they like pop open the watch and like the light thing like pops up like this. You know what I mean? They like hit buttons on it and then it like closes back up. Like, I want to be there for all this stuff. And like, we've got to be within 100 years. So like, that's why I'm so excited to be here at NFT land. What do you think keeps you anchored?
the money, dude. Me, it's
Money.
like I'm here to. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm here to. I'm not even
Me
gonna
too.
pretend. It's the money.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah,
And
you're
then
right.
along the way, you make like amazing friends. You meet great
Sure.
people, and yeah, the future thing. I think NFTs are gonna fit great with AR and VR. Like even Artifact, they're really
Mhm.
working on AR. As soon as Apple introduces the glasses and a lot of people start buying those glasses. I don't know how they're going to work. Apparently
Yeah.
they're coming like in September. They're going to introduce them at least. I don't know if we're going to be able to buy them, but like just imagine walking around. I was even thinking at events, like I was going to tell Nikki to do this now. Anybody could do it. Imagine at, NFT Toronto, you're walking around and everybody, it's like a rave or a show. Everybody has their phone out anyways already. They're filming themselves, they're filming their friend. And then
Mm.
all of a sudden, randomly, there's an AR piece that's planted there, a piece of art. And then you have to go on a scavenger hunt. And if you find all 12, but it's AR and nobody knows it's there unless you pull out your phone and you find it. There's so much cool
Mm.
things you could do with AR. And
And it
then,
works too. Like, we have proof of concept. We've seen Pokemon Go. Guys,
yeah,
a few
yeah.
months ago, I was walking to the Khabib had come. He's a big MMA guy. He came to speak at an event in Seattle, so I went to go see him. And while I was walking there, it was just some kind of Pokemon Go day, I guess. And so I just see all these people walking around with Pikachu hats and Pikachu beanies and Pikachu jackets, and I was like, "What the fuck's going on?" And I just like asked some person in the street, like, "Oh, it's like this big Pokemon Go thing." I don't even know. And like all these people are just walking around like trying to catch Pokemon. And I was like, "Bro, what the fuck is happening?" Like, dude, when I say I was in the middle of the city and out of 100 people, 90 of them were playing Pokemon Go, that was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
One of my friends has, it's some, I don't know, little device, and it automatically catches the Pokemon wherever he goes. So it's just he has like thousands. If
What?
ever they made it some Web3 game where
Oh
your
my
Pokemon
god.
actually, he's rich. Like he's a millionaire. He's always sending me
Dude.
pictures of his highest level or his shiny Mewtwo or whatever, and he loves it. Yeah.
That's fucking wild. That is so cool. That is so cool. Before I ask the next question, because I'm very excited to see what you have to say about this. If you guys who haven't already, smash the likes for me, subscribe, hit all the buttons. If you're in Spaces, bottom right corner, hit that message icon, retweets, comments, all the things help. Also, if you have a question, pop it in there, and we'll try and get to it. Also, towards the end, I want to open up the floor for like a couple minutes and maybe let a couple of y'all up to ask your question in person if he's down for that.
Sure. Yeah, for sure.
So,
What are you using to stream? Because it's on YouTube. How do they come up?
it
Or
well,
just on
I'll just stream off
Twitter?
on Spaces, and we'll hear them in our headphones.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's cool how it works. Well, I'm 99% sure that's how it will work. I don't exactly know because, like, but anyways, okay. So here's my question.
Yeah.
Because this has been a trending topic the latter half of 2022, and it's still bleeding into 2023, even though the talisman has been arrested because alleged charges. What's his name? Andrew Tate. So he brought up this whole debate of like the red pill community, and then they rose up this past year, right? So now we're in this interesting debate of men versus women, masculine versus feminine, and we have this new concept that's not a new concept, but people are talking about it. Strong people create peaceful times create weak people. What are your thoughts on that? And is there a way around it? Like, we're not gonna have kids. Like, I struggle to think about how I'm gonna raise my kids because I'm like, well, fuck, I had a kind of a crappy upbringing in my head at least, and I didn't like how it was, so that's what made me work so hard. And if I didn't have that, I don't know what it would have been. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I agree. That's exactly how it is. I mean, we've seen, we had 9/11 and stuff. But a lot of the new generation, they don't even remember that.
Mhm.
We haven't had these real hard times like previous generations have. And yeah, I definitely think it's, and thank you very much for the compliment. I just read it. Yeah, I don't think we've had anything bad. And I agree with it. Hard times create hard men, peaceful times create soft men. And
Yeah,
there is like a whole war on, I believe it, that there's a war on masculinity. There's a war on, yeah. And I'm in that camp where you need to be strong. You need to,
yeah,
take care of your family. I don't think it's men versus women. I don't think Andrew Tate is versus women,
yeah.
but man,
Yeah, it's an interesting place because I feel like as a human culture, at least for the way I feel like I almost look at social media in like a philosophical way. I feel like silly saying it out loud sometimes, but like I used it to observe in a very Gary V like way where I like observe how humans in general are like looking at the world and like seeing which videos are going viral and like okay so there's for some reason 400 million people who all watched this video and kind of arrived at the same sort of conclusions about a certain thing about life, and I'm like that's interesting to me and to see how that changes and things like that. And we're seeing like people get more and more curious about the biomechanics of how everything works, about why we do this, why we do that. Like psychotherapy is blowing up on TikTok because people want to know why they're doing stuff. They're like, oh my god, this happened because when I was 6 years old this happened to me or something like that. And we're in this like place where there's entrepreneurs, there's people who are saying like, no, you should go live it out in the fucking gardens in the middle of nowhere in a field. And it's basically just conflicting arguments here and there, humans arguing. And that seems to be the meta of 2023. Do you think there's anything that can reverse this where we become less agitated towards each other when someone has a different topic on Spaces, the other person just lights them on fire?
I think it has something to do with themselves. It has nothing to do with the other person. So we need people to start like reflecting on themselves and just stop, people get a rise out of it, out of arguing. When
Mm,
somebody says something and you want to jump in, you just have to, it doesn't matter what they think. We're not going to change each other's minds most of the time. Unless it's like a topic, it's something in the world crazy that we actually need to change. If it's just, somebody's opinion or I think a lot of us, like, dude, if somebody cuts you off in traffic, that might ruin your whole day. But like,
yeah,
you're the one giving up your entire day. Versus if you lost like a dollar, you wouldn't even care. But now
yeah.
you're giving up your entire day, which is potentially costing you hundreds or thousands of dollars in your future, and you're allowing that to happen to yourself. So I think it's
Mm,
it's a very much an internal thing. I think it's funny. I'm rewatching The Sopranos,
mm,
and he always says like, "What happened to the Gary Coopers of the world, like the strong silent type?" I
mm.
think that's what. Not that I'm like that. I for sure have my own quirks, but I like to be more like that. Like just put your head down, worry about your own business, do your work, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm in a very similar camp there as well. Yeah, that's kinda how I look at the thing. And you said you were earlier you're 33. How has your mindset changed from your 20s to 30s slash, like, what have you picked up where now you're in your 30s. You're literally like I'm in my 20s and you're in your 30s, yet we both are youthful as fuck. We're both excited, curious, like everything is the same. Like when I was 15, I worried that when I was 28, I would lose some of that. And in fact, like when I was 15, I had a certain amount of energy that I can't remember. But now that I'm 24, I definitely have at least the same amount or more. So I'm thinking like every 10 years that might be a thing. Maybe there's a certain age, like 70, where you start to like get old. But like before that, like we're pretty much chilling for a long, long time. How much has changed?
Dude, when you hit 30, your body's gonna take a
Oh,
hit.
fuck.
Like, take care of yourself now. Like,
Okay.
work out. Like, I got the home gym. Like, work out
Yeah.
when you can. Do it disciplined. Eat healthy if you can. It's gonna hit, and it's gonna become a lot harder to do. Like, prioritize
Mm.
your sleep. My sleep sucks because of my cat right here. She likes to scream at like 6 a.m. every
What's her
morning.
name?
I started changing my schedule. So, what would you say?
I said, what's her name?
Oh, well, it's French, Mac Poulet, but it means McChicken. Yeah, McChicken. Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious. I love that, dude. I've never met anyone who other than my family who names their fucking animals after like food. We did that.
I didn't name her, but yeah, she's
Oh,
adopted, and I took her off my old co-founder because like they took her off the streets because they felt bad, but they're
nice.
not animal people. I'm a dog person, but I felt bad, and I used to work at a pet shop, like I love animals, so
Mhm.
I'll take her in,
Right
and
on.
now
That's
she's
awesome.
a princess. She's spoiled.
I was gonna say, yeah, she's probably real happy with the monthly subscription. She's like, keep them whitelists coming,
Yeah, let's
baby.
go.
Keep them
Yeah.
fucking whitelists coming. That's hilarious, dude. That's hilarious. All right, I have some of these questions I love in the rapid fire Q&A. A lot of these came from like Discords and like Twitters from like past podcasts. So these are questions I've asked different people, and I love these questions. I've kind of compiled it to like 20 of them that are just really interesting. So I kind of like to see which ones like fit in our conversation.
Sure.
Um, can you walk me through this one? Should be a normal question I asked earlier, but can you walk me through a day in your life? Do you have a normal schedule in any sense, or is literally every day different?
No, I have I guess you'd call it a weekly schedule. I do certain things certain days. In the morning, first thing I do, I open up Discord, and then I straight to my computer. Most mornings I have meetings,
Mhm.
and then I join a VC. I hang out. I spend time in my Discord throughout the day. I have meetings on Mondays and Thursdays. I'll film, and then most days around right before dinner I work out, and then I just back to work. Whether that's finding projects, talking to teams, browsing Twitter, just hanging out, and then bedtime. I
Nice.
don't, I barely go out. I don't like, I have a ton of friends. I don't see
Yeah.
them. Like I see them only at special occasions. Um, yeah, no, I'm very like by the book. Like, no, I have to do all this. And it's every week's copy paste. Every day is like a copy paste.
Mm.
And I'm a person who's able to do that. It doesn't drive me crazy where I need changes. I don't
Yeah.
travel a lot. I don't, right now, I'm in like money mode. I just want to
Mm.
build a company and that's it.
Interesting. Do you have you thought about what comes next? Because is there a number that you hit and where you start to focus on other stuff where you're like, okay, now I want to have a 3 hour gap in my day to do MMA or something? Like, do you have thoughts about that after you've kind of maybe question mark graduated from like a money cycle?
Yeah, I mean, even right now, I definitely need cardio because it's like it's affecting me. So I might either start. I started just run. It's snowing here, so either I go run outside or I just run up and down the stairs of my building.
Nice.
But there's a boxing gym really close to my house. I might join. So I definitely
Oh,
need to do some
you
cardio. I've
should.
never boxed before. Nikki
I
wants to
haven't either.
do a boxing thing for NFT
I
Toronto,
know,
so
bro.
maybe
I
I'll do
saw that. I was
that.
like,
Yeah.
Nikki, we have to like hire coaches. Like that's a very expensive
Hmm.
endeavor. Very, very
Hmm.
expensive.
Yeah.
I would be down, but I would definitely want more than like a year at least to train for something like that. Because I would look like a clown.
Same, dude. Yeah.
I'm not trying to look
Especially
like
my
Logan
age,
Paul in
it's
case I
harder.
won.
And then no, I guess number. I mean, the ultimate number, 100 million, but that's like a stupid number, right? I
Oh.
think 10 million, I'd be very happy. Dude, all I want is, I always say, like, get rich and move to the forest, and then just like wife,
Really?
kids, a bunch of dogs. Yeah, yeah. Move away from everybody, move away from the city, move away from the drama. I don't have to worry about anything. So I guess like maybe 10 mil is enough for that. But I
Yeah.
just want to buy a house, a Porsche, a nice motorcycle, a beater car for the winter that I could just drift around and not care about, and a bunch of dogs. Just adopt all the dogs that need to be adopted, or like open a dog shelter or something,
That's
and then
fucking
I'll be
awesome.
happy. Yeah.
Why how long have you wanted that? Has that been like your dream for a long time?
Yeah, I've always loved animals. Like I said, I used to work at a pet shop. I don't have a dog anymore. I used to have a dog. There's my boy.
Oh, he was
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, he's a good boy. Yeah, I've always loved animals. I always wanted to help them. I go through cycles, dude. Sometimes I'm like, yo, I should start I don't know anything about cars. I'm like, I should start a car channel where I just work on cars,
Yeah.
cars. Or I'm like, I should start a cooking channel. I should just,
Dude, you
uh,
should pick one. You should pick one of those. I have a separate TikTok account that people don't know about that I only talk about sales and business because I
ooh.
just use examples from like my business and I just like talk about them. I make a video whenever I can. And it's fun. It's kind of fun doing that because like I know no one from my main audience is like over there. It's just random people that I just follow that journey.
Yeah, no, that's so when I buy a house and I have a garage, then I'll probably start, I'll buy like the shittiest car and I'll just start learning how to work on it. And maybe I'll just start a
Awesome.
YouTube channel. There's a few that I follow, they did that. Like you saw these people progress and they got way better at working on cars. They started like going drifting at a track, and it's a
Yeah.
cool journey to follow. So
What are
that's
you gonna
something I
do
would
when
love
your
to do.
community asks for an NFT project where they each part of the car has to become an NFT?
They'll get it. They'll fractionalize my car and then they could pay the bills when I crash it. That's
Let's fucking go. What kind of Porsche do you want? You got like a certain one?
I always wanted like a GT3, but
Mm,
the Porsche Turbo S is just so beautiful. Like on Instagram, I follow like two channels, and it's like a friend and then a Porsche, like Porsche, I guess Germany, or maybe Porsche, the central one. And the videos, the Turbo S is just beautiful.
bro,
The
you
new
got
one. I'm not a fan of the old Porsches. They're like super
no?
small and no,
You gotta tell me this then. And Porsche just dropped an NFT project, bro.
no, bro.
What
Yeah.
are your thoughts? Everyone was flooding them for 24 hours, then they pumped, and everyone was like, "Wait, hold on. Maybe this wasn't so bad." What are your thoughts on it?
So I know it's funny. Everybody, the comment that you see as soon as they announce their price was like, "Who are their Web3 advisors?" I know who their Web3 advisors are.
Oh, you're about
He's
to
the
say you
only
were.
person. No, no, no. I wish I met them all in Miami though.
Oh, you
Uh,
did?
yeah,
Oh, wow.
they had like the Porsche event and they're all there.
Oh, yeah.
But so I know the person who's working with them, and he's the only one who said like, "Please don't do this." Like, he's the only one who knew. He told them like, "Yeah, I don't think you're going to sell out." And but
Mm,
they were all convinced. I think these Web2 brands, they see numbers
yeah.
in Web3 that they don't see in Web2. So to them, it's
Mhm.
like, wow, this is so great. We look so successful. They don't realize like we're botting the shit out of
Yeah.
we're entering like 50 wallets if we can. Like I got that POAP. I sent it to I went back to my hotel room and I did 50 wallets. And then they killed the POAP. You couldn't do more than one, so it was useless. But I literally did 50 wallets. I did as many as I could.
Yo!
Yeah. Because I was like, yeah, I want as many Porsche NFTs as I could have. So they don't realize how many people are botting it.
Wait, so did
Yeah.
you make a bag?
No, I didn't even mint it. No.
Oh, wow, okay.
Well,
I guess, yeah,
first of
point
all, I
9
was
is
in the
pretty
fourth
expensive
group.
mint.
Yeah, yeah. And then, but I saw the alpha calls when they said we're going to cut supply, and I just didn't do it. I thought I had more time when I woke up,
Mhm.
but they cut supply before, and then like at 4x, it went to 3 ETH.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I had no regrets. So you missed some.
Yeah, any thoughts on the kid called Beast?
Dude. Um, Yeah, that's rough. I mean, a lot of people were pissed. I hated how they did it. They over allocated, then they say,
Yeah,
"Oh, we're only 10% or
yeah.
20%."
That
And
was
their
not
way of
fair.
making it 20% was by cutting 20K wallets. And they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we checked for bots or whatever." They just cut whoever they wanted. People were pissed, but they're only pissed because it did well. If it
Mm,
went to zero under mint, nobody would care. People
yeah.
are only mad when, and then they're acting like, "Hey, I really wanted to mint this." Like, you probably didn't. You only wanted to mint it once you saw it pumped. So
Yeah, I wasn't stoked. I mean, I remember I was gonna mint. I was on the list and I was like excited to mint. I was like, nice. I've been following them a little bit. I haven't been paying that much close attention, but I knew he had developed a strong brand amongst different founders and stuff like that. So I figured they would do well. And then the mint happened. Like no one could mint, and then like no one was talking. I tried to get into Discord. Discord was gone. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm definitely not gonna mint this now. Like this must be
mm,
some kind of rug or scam or something. So I just like lost interest. And then a few hours later, someone was like, yo, you can mint right now, but you got to do it right now. So I just quickly did it, but I didn't know what was going on, and I just wasn't thrilled with the way they were handling it. I ended up just like flipping literally the dead bottom, like a point two something, and
mm,
then they moved like right after. I just wasn't. I still am not a big fan. I mean, I know they came back, and I've talked about this before, like on the Daily Show, but wasn't a big fan of like. It's just too bad that some projects like do everything right and just don't see that whatever you call that success on mint day. And it stinks for them because they lose a lot of momentum immediately and people just forget about them. Then other projects do everything pretty much wrong and are completely saved because people just fuck with them somehow.
yeah. Or like the
Um,
DGen mints, like that. Nobody like look at Smashverse. Nobody wanted to mint it at 0.12, and then they do it for free, and it pumps to 0.12, and people are buying it on secondary for 0.12. It's like what's going on? You don't want to give this like pro a game developer team your money, but you'll buy it on secondary, hoping for like the pump. It's
yeah. Dude, I really fucking hope that Twitter brings me back just now because someone called me and I heard the other day that if someone calls you, you get rugged for like temporarily. So,
Oh
all
no.
right. Someone give me a thumbs up. Steven, I see you in there. Delta Max, give me Janix, Evergreen. I see y'all in there. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear us. If not, it'll come back in the next 10 seconds. So it doesn't really matter, but just in case. Okay.
Yeah,
Looks
the
like we're
call thing's annoying. I hate when you get rugged from a Discord VC. You're in the middle of saying something and you get a call and it just pulls you out.
we're good. We're good to go. I'm thinking of them. So thank you, Delta Max. God, yeah, it's so annoying. I hate when that happens.
Mm.
Especially because my thing, like I had this wire thing that was plugged into my phone back when we were trying to get started and they couldn't hear you in spaces. It was because it was plugged in. I didn't have Bluetooth on, and now I'm trying to switch to Bluetooth. Bluetooth works, but this plugin doesn't work. So I don't know what it is with spaces, man. Come on, Elon, what you doing, bruh? What you doing?
But you said there's no video. It wasn't there a video. I remember when he killed Spaces for a few days at least. I remember
Yeah.
like the Nifty Alpha guys were doing video.
So Twitter Space, actually no, Twitter streaming works right now. Like we're streaming on Twitter technically. People
Okay.
don't really see it because it's weird how it goes out. Like no one really, there's not like a notification. You just start streaming. So like no one ever knows that I'm streaming on
Mm.
Twitter, and it never does good engagement really. But I don't know. It is what it is. I guess it is what it is.
But dude, that video thing that you put me on for posting videos,
Yeah.
tonight I realized I was scrolling down. I forget how I got there, and I realized there's a video section. Like they're trying to compete with
Yeah, they are.
YouTube Shorts and TikTok. And dude, I scrolled for a while, and I was
Did
discovering
you?
like so many artists. Yeah, and I was like, this is
Oh,
awesome. So I was like, yo,
hell
I
yeah.
got to post some more videos
You do,
on
bro.
Twitter here. Yeah,
You do, man. I did the review for Imposters, Elliot Trade's project. Bro, that got like 25,000 impressions, got like 6,000 video views, more than
nice.
plenty more than it will get on YouTube. And I was just like, holy fuck. I mean, like you're like one retweet away. And Twitter's great because I feel like every video view on Twitter matters more than YouTube now, specifically
Mm,
right now in the market, just because we're in a bear market. People are looking for Twitter, or sorry, they're looking for NFT and crypto stuff on Twitter, not as much on YouTube. They still are definitely going on YouTube, but I feel like it's so direct. They can click on your video and immediately be on your Twitter versus YouTube. They got to click in your description, got to go to it. Sometimes it'll take them to Google Chrome on like the
mm.
Twitter mobile
Yeah,
thing. And
yeah,
you're just like, oh my God. So there's like a bunch of nonsense like that that kind of stinks. But I've enjoyed posting on Twitter, dude. I've seen good success. Have you done? I know you posted a couple, but you're having
yeah.
some issues, right?
No, I figured it out. I had to cancel Twitter Blue. I guess it's something with the iPhone. Like they had a fight with Apple. I had to cancel it on my phone
Hmm.
and then just resubscribe on my computer, and then
Oh,
it worked. And then I was able to upload like a 15-minute video. The other one that I had problem, it was just way too big. I had to just
yeah,
reduce the file
got
size.
it,
Yeah, it was like
got it, got it.
3.5 gigs or something.
True, true. Did you ever think that when you were like, I don't know, maybe in like high school, that age, did you ever think that you would be doing content in any
Absolutely
sense?
not. No, I knew I wanted to do YouTube like at 18 when I did that review channel.
Mhm.
And funny, I was always behind the camera except for one. It's called like, it's still up there. It's the tech over, like the takeover, but tech. And it's called The Interview. And I'm in it. So the whole thing about it was one of my friends loves Apple and one of them despises Apple. So we had like a versus series. They would each review like an iPad or
Oh,
something. And it was comedy. Like
yeah,
the friend who loves Apple, he starts off reading the Steve Jobs book and he's really good at, with the like smart words
yeah,
complimenting. So it was funny. And then we also wanted to do skits. We just wanted to be like comedy reviews, but actually reviewing and talking about the tech. So I was in one of those videos. I always wanted to be behind the camera, but I like acting too. But I was shy, dude. I tried that. Then I did one coding video, which was fine. I had no issues doing that. I did one. Do you know like the YouTuber Jake Tran, where he makes like these documentaries using footage from movies?
yeah. I do.
Yeah. So I tried doing that on CBDCs, talking about like how CBDCs are gonna take over the world, and it might be like the bad side of it and a bit
Mhm.
of the good. And I edited it super well, dude. All the titles for each chapter was like a fine art piece of art, and like I chose the perfect one with a nice title, and then I just posted on Reddit. I get like one hateful comment. I'm like, nope, make it private. So I kind of got, I guess I was always scared of being on camera, but I
Yeah,
knew I wanted to do something in production. And
got it.
then, yeah, one day I just did this and I was like, yeah, I just got to be fine being on camera. Nobody cares.
You got any tips for haters, the hate comments?
No, I'm gonna keep writing them. You're increasing my engagement. It's fine.
True. It is true. Yeah, no, yeah, for sure, for sure. The comments are funny too because they're always the same. There's never like a unique hate comment. It's always the same shit. Like I can shoot and be like, "Yo, there's a hate comment." I'm like, "Okay, there's probably 6 of them and it's got to be one of these 6 99% of the time."
Yeah. But I have two things. One, do you know what's the funniest? You get
Uh,
the bots on your YouTube, and like they just want to scam people,
yeah.
but they open up their message with like, I love your content, dude. Your videos are so great. And you're like, oh, this is such a nice message.
Yeah,
And then you
fuck
keep
outta
reading and it's like, I do my investments through this person. And then you're like,
Oh my
damn, it's a
god.
bot.
Well,
But
there that's funny as fuck.
the hate thing, I guess I'm lucky where, I mean, I don't want to bring it on, but I'm lucky where I don't get that much. It's funny. I posted 2 shorts recently because I need to get into the short
I
game
saw
because
that,
that's,
dude. I saw
yeah.
that.
I posted one on my biggest or my losses with Artifact. I still have Artifact, but if I sold, I'd be down like 20K. And it got a ton of engagement. It got like, everybody was like, oh, I'm so happy you're sharing your losses, not just your wins. After that, I posted my hate beast story. I had the likes to dislike ratio, which you can't publicly see, but I see it. Like the Artifact one was like 96% likes. This one where I'm talking about a win was like only 80% likes. So I realized like, yo, people
Mm.
don't want to hear about other people making money, at least not in
Yep,
this market. They don't want to hear that.
it's
So I
true.
was like, wow, that's interesting. And then I did get some like hate comments like, oh, influencers like dumping their bags and you get whitelist for free, which
Yep.
I didn't get. I got whitelist because I bought something, not because they gave it to
Mhm.
me. But even that whole argument of influencers getting free stuff, it makes no sense to me.
Is there a certain style of content that you did not want to make when you were in the bull run? Like, do you remember any kind of content that you did just because you felt like you had to almost?
The only time was with my infamous sponsor, FTX.
Wait, they did sponsor you? No way. That's fucking well,
Yeah,
that would have been lit, and it was lit during the time.
it was that like
Yeah.
nobody knew, right? They're the second biggest exchange, and they paid very well. And most NFT influencers and crypto were sponsored by them at the time. Uh, I was contracted to do 8 videos a month, where I do like a 30-second. This video is brought to you by
Yep.
FTX. That I really didn't like. It became like a job because I had to post twice a week.
Mhm.
And especially during a bear, like there's no content sometimes. There's no new
Right.
projects. So I had to just think like I would do like a how to get whitelist part 2. And I was actually like pissed making videos. Like I stopped enjoying it. But I mean I did it because the money was good, but I was just like, man, I don't want it to ever feel like this again. Unless I
Yeah.
ask for like 3x the amount of money.
Yeah, I remember Brett talking about that especially once he got to a certain figure in like YouTube land and NFT land, he got to a certain place where he could say no to certain things, and he was
Mhm.
like, "Bro, I just stopped doing like those kind of things." He's like, I don't need to anymore." He goes, "I'd rather just like do an ad for my own company or something like
Yeah.
that, or just talk
Yeah.
about my own alpha group or whatever." Because you're gonna make more money like that anyway. Like for me, like even if I run ads on my videos, I'm like, bro, I'm getting a few hundred views, maybe a few thousand on great days. Like it's not like my AdSense is gonna add up to anything. I might as well just not really run 3, unskippable ads and just talk about something that I do for 20 seconds in my video. It makes way more sense.
Mm.
Way higher ticket too.
Yeah, I don't do this. I do skippable only because it pisses me off when I see
Yeah, me too.
unskippable. So I'm like, I don't want to do that to anybody. I leave them on, but not because like you said, the money sucks right now. Like I'm making $100 a month off YouTube,
Mhm.
or it's like 10x less than what it was
Yeah.
during a bull. I leave it on because I'm like, if I turn it off, is YouTube going to stop sharing my stuff? That's my only
Oh, no,
fear.
I leave them on. I just meant the same with you, the unskippable ones. I made
Okay,
sure that
yeah.
was off. But
Mhm.
even with those, like I only do them for the same reason for you're doing them. They're just because I might as well have them on, question mark.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think it'll yeah, I don't think it'll hurt me, but I might as well just leave them on, I guess.
But why would YouTube share your stuff if they're not making their cut?
Oh.
It doesn't make
Uh,
sense for them they're going to share somebody else's stuff who's making them money versus you're just costing them money to run the servers, whatever.
don't they still, because, like, I've seen videos that, like, definitely they're like a random YouTube video with, like, 6 views, and, like, sometimes they still have ads. So maybe doesn't YouTube still run the ad even if you're not monetized? They just don't give you a cut?
I have no idea. So it could be.
I don't know how that works. I feel
Yeah.
like they would because most videos on YouTube probably aren't monetized, right?
Yeah, because you need 1,000 subscribers and you need 4,000 watch hours just to qualify.
And that shit
So
takes for fucking ever
yeah,
for
dude.
any YouTuber,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
4,000 watch hours is a very long time in the
Dude,
beginning, at least, you know?
I used to look at YouTubers that had like 1,000, even 10,000, be like, oh, only 10,000.
Yeah.
And then I started making content and I'm like, yo, this guy has
Yeah,
1,000 subscribers. Like, good job, dude.
yeah,
It
for real.
is
No,
tough. People don't
1,000 is a big
realize.
number. 1,000 is a
Yeah.
big number. It's hard to get your first 1,000.
Yeah. Because how
Um,
often do you subscribe to a channel that you watch? You probably don't. You probably watch a video and on to the next one.
I'm more conscious of it now because I'm a YouTuber, so I will like videos because I know I'm a content creator, so I know a like helps, and I'm
Mhm.
very aware of that. So I do the likes and I subscribe if I know that they're a content creator and I like feel a connection to them as a content creator after watching the video, I'll usually subscribe because I just want to give them that number. And like with YouTube, it's nice because like there's no issue with like ratio with you. Like it doesn't matter how many people you're subscribed to and like who you're
Yeah.
subscribed to because you don't really see that. It just kind of pops up and recommended.
Yeah. Very true.
So yeah, for sure. I see Crypto Dream in here. He says been doing it for 10 months, 40p subs. So I guess maybe up 40 subscribers. I respect the grind so much. Yeah, dude, it is hard. I went literally from 2009 until 2021. I made YouTube videos and I only got like 300 subscribers from that.
Oh,
So like
wow.
the first 300 subscribers on my channel technically were from like before NFT land, but then like I think it took a year to go, or no, maybe not a year, maybe like a few months to go to 1,000. But that's only because we had all the attention of NFTs. Like if NFTs weren't popping like that, I would not be where I am, and I would not be at 10K, which isn't even a lot in the grand scheme of things. But dude, like I had to capitalize on that attention, and it was crazy because like there wasn't that many industries where you could jump in and blow up that fast. Like I remember the crypto people would go from like Journey Crypto was at like 40K, Elliott Trades was like maybe at 100, and then they zoomed and did like a 8x on their followers during that 2020 bull run. That shit was nuts, dude. Do you remember that time, the 2021
Yeah.
before with the NFT bull run?
Yeah, like more crypto or
Yeah.
yeah, that's when I was getting back into it. And when I started doing I started off with crypto tutorials, or my first
Mhm.
video about crypto was my friend bought SafeMoon, and I told him, dude, if you buy SafeMoon, I'm making a video on why you shouldn't. And then he did, so I did. And then I was like, yo, wait, I could do this. All my friends are like, how do I buy crypto in Canada? So I'm like, I might as well just start reviewing
Mm.
all these exchanges. And it took 4 months to get to 1K subscribers. And then I discovered NFTs. And then in
Yeah.
28 days, I was at 10K subscribers. So it was like exponential. Right
Do you
place,
remember
right
that time?
time. Yeah. Oh yeah. Good times. Man.
Fuck, dude. Yeah,
Boomed. And yeah.
that was crazy. Seeing the numbers, like that was the very first time I ever experienced like daily growth where you're like, wow, I am growing every single day. There's another number on the
Yeah.
subscription thing. And this is, and like I was growing slower too. Cause like I wasn't making top 5 NFT coins. I was doing a lot of reviews. So I kind of did what you did. And I just kind of kept doing that. Cause I was like, well, I'm not as much interested in the new projects and things like that. So I'm more interested in doing more, I don't know, like I guess aged up content's the best way to describe that. Like I love doing the podcast. I've been doing the podcast
Mm.
forever. Like that's definitely my main style of content I like doing. And then with the reviews, I feel like only a certain type of person is going to watch a review versus another video.
Yep.
And it's like I want to talk to those kind of people anyway, and that's kind of why I decided to do that. What's up, Andres? I see him in the chat with a. Is that a bull? Is that a bull? Is that a? What are you saying, Andres? Bull run? Down, fam. Yo, by the way, what do you think about that? We've been trending down for the past week or so. What are your thoughts on the current state of the market?
Dude, I have absolutely no idea which way we're going.
Oh,
Tomorrow's the FOMC meeting.
that's
That's
why.
going to determine everything. Yeah. As soon
Mm,
as whatever happens there is going to determine it. I feel like right now we're on a mini run, but I do still think we go back down. I don't think it's up only from here.
gotcha.
But I
Gotcha.
don't think we're going to go to like 10K Bitcoin. We need something catastrophic to happen for that to if like bigger than FTX. Binance has to go
Yeah, it would
under,
have
or
to be Binance.
Tether. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tether. That could suck. That could suck.
Yeah. My
Andres,
sources tell me Tether's not happening. We're all good. So
I hope
knock
so.
on wood. Yeah.
I fucking hope so. I've just been told that it was not a bull, it was a gorilla. I don't know how that's a gorilla because on the computer that does not look like a gorilla. Maybe it does. But yeah, CryptoGorilla. Let's fucking go. Okay, I have some rapid fire final questions here, and
Yeah.
then we'll open up the floor just
Sure.
to just finish. I don't want to hold you too long. So let's see. Let's see. Do you have any conspiracies that you subscribe to that you don't
Oh
talk
man.
about too often, but you're like, yeah.
So many, dude. And we were talking about, and I don't know where I stand on this one, but I was in a VC and we were talking about like the moon landing, if it's
Oh
real or not.
shit.
Yeah, there's a lot what the government has done. I
Nah, what do you think about
probably,
aliens?
yeah, I mean, I forget who said it. Somebody said if aliens came here, they're probably a machine to like travel that far. It's probably a machine.
Mm,
So maybe it's some machine that's already here and we just don't know. Maybe it's the internet. Maybe that's how we discovered the
uh,
internet or something. I don't know. Or
oh
maybe
my
we're the aliens.
that one I've heard before, and I'm down to go with that one. If that ever gets proved true, I'll be like, okay, I could see that. Like if we were like the colonists basically from somewhere else,
Mm.
and then we came from Mars or something. I've heard those kind of things. Like I remember I dove deep into a conspiracy hole when I had first taken acid in college, and that fucked my entire reality up, dude.
Yeah, shit. I
That's
think especially when you're younger, you're like more likely to fall down rabbit holes really intensely and just start
yes,
believing a ton of stuff. It's dangerous. It's almost dangerous.
it is.
Um,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
I mean, that's what a lot of people were saying about Andrew Tate. They were like, he's got a bunch of great points, but then he's got a bunch of, uh, you know, other points that maybe aren't as great. And so people were kind of torn on that because they were like, he has a young audience. Is he spreading the right message? You know, are people getting even the right message from his whole thing? If he does a 20-minute video and he goes in 3 different directions, is every viewer going to get all 3 messages, or are they going to pick one and forget about the other 2 kind of thing? But anyways, this one I'm also interested because I'm very torn on this, and every person I meet has a different opinion. And I love this topic. Universal based income, and with more context there, potentially a metaverse in our future where AI takes over 90% of the jobs, where we just don't need to work. And maybe we get universal based income because we need just to supplement that income, and we don't actually have to do anything. So we get into like a utopian slash dystopian, I don't know the difference, one of those topias, where we now just like fill up our time with whatever pleases us or something like that. What do you think about that version of a future? And then how universal based income is tied up in all that?
Yeah, just to jump back to the previous thing you said with the whole like Andrew Tate thing of
Yeah.
if if they don't see the whole thing, I think that's more political because like I can go on Netflix and watch like 15 murder documentaries, and that like
Mm,
that actually pollutes your mind. Like
true.
I don't watch any of that because it puts me in such a negative place. Or like then you go out and you start thinking like, oh, is this, you're paranoid a little bit, you
I
know?
agree.
So I think if we're not, censoring murder mysteries or murder stuff, like why are we? I don't know. I think
Mm,
everything, unless somebody's saying directly you'll go harm somebody, I think
yeah.
everything should be free to watch. You can watch what you want.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
definitely more in that boat as well about
yeah.
the free everything.
For the UBI, I definitely think we're gonna have to have UBI. Like, dude, right now, I
Let's
was.
fucking go! Let's fucking go! Hold on. Let's fucking go. CryptoGorilla for the win. He told us we're all gonna be rich and we don't gotta do anything for it,
and
maybe.
no, that ain't gonna happen. If everybody has it, I think it's gonna be a base, and I think everybody should have it, including Jeff Bezos, because I
Oh,
don't think,
okay.
okay, maybe there should be a number if you have 7 million, you're not getting it, but I think everybody should have it because if you look at like the current system, like in America with like welfare, you're encouraged not to get a job.
Mm,
So it shouldn't be, oh, you reach a certain level, like we're taking this away from you. It should be, hey, everybody gets the minimum to be able to pay your rent or buy diapers or feed your family. And then it's up to you to go out and get a job. I don't think people are just going to become so lazy where they're not going to work. I think those people are already doing it. And most of us, like, you need to work. What else are you going to do with your time? Like,
mm,
yeah, you could sit at home and play video games, but then you just have the bare minimum. And what
yeah.
maybe you have like $90 a month that you can spend on a video game, or you just download it for free. I think people are still going to put in the effort. They're still going to work. And like, dude, with rent, I was for fun looking at mortgage. Dude, I never realized how much the interest rates affect you. Like I put in 2%, which is what it used to be. It was like 2 grand a month. And then I put in 6%. It was 3 grand a month. I'm paying $1,000 more
Yeah.
for of interest. Like it's money just wasted. And
Jeez.
I don't know how the future generation is going to do it because prices aren't going to go down. Like I don't
Yeah.
view it going down.
Yeah, man, I have no idea. That's why that entire concept in general intrigues me. That whole concept, the metaverse in general, also intrigues me, just because it is still the Wild West. Like, we talk about in NFTs, like we're in chapter one. It's we're the Wild Wild West. But the reality is, like, I don't know if where we're headed, if there is anything other than Wild Wild West where we're headed. Like, I feel like every year we're venturing into unknown territory versus like maybe we stepped into an alternate universe. I feel like a few years ago it wasn't like that, but now it is. And I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I feel like we've entered this new time period of like human something where we just have like I feel like we're on a wave of exponential growth that we haven't been on for the past few years.
Yeah, I guess like it's nice for our generation to to see these opportunities of like market growth.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if I'm allowed to say the word, or your podcast going to get banned, but the thing that happened over the past few years where we had to mask up,
Yeah.
um, I think that completely broke the timeline. Like, dude, I have friends who their kids are like 3 years old, and I'm like, wait, you have a kid? Like, what what happened? So I think the timeline broke. I think we had a crazy shift where everybody's staying home now. Everybody, and it was good because we got NFTs because of that.
Yeah.
Well, it's not what happened isn't good, but where we're at is good.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. Do you subscribe to the conspiracy of like we're in a simulation kind of
Dude, that
thing?
one's so hard. Like I think it's hard for me because I just don't want to believe it because it takes away any kind of feeling of realness of any reality of any version of anything. It feels all just like a play if it becomes a simulation. And so I think it's for me, it's hard because I just don't want that to be true in the
Mm,
way that I'm thinking it might be true, where it
mm.
just like the rug gets pulled from under us and we're like, ah, like it was all simulation. Like that
Yeah,
just
game
sounds
over.
fun to
Yeah.
me. I'm like, come on, like there's no way. Like it has to be cooler than that. If it's gonna be a simulation, it's gotta like make sense at the end. For like when I wake up, I gotta be like, okay, I'm down with how that happened then. Like, I hope
Hmm.
it doesn't end and I'm just like, fuck, like I missed the whole point of it, or like I didn't do everything that I was supposed to because of just like these silly things. But yeah, dude, honestly, the dichotomy of having to wrestle with that, like sometimes when you're in a really deep philosophical mindset at late at night and you're like, man, like I don't know, I got to change my life. And then sometimes you're just like in the straight degen territory and your mind is like that of a fucking caveman, and you're
Hmm.
just like, oh, moon, like degen, like min, and you're just saying like stupid stuff. It's kind of funny how many different like versions of ourselves that we can access based on like setting, based on video, based on anything. That's why immersive technologies interest me so much, just because I feel like it'll allow us to kind of expand our minds and how we interpret the world and things like that.
Hmm.
But anyways, that's just my fucking brain that never turns off. Also, if anyone in Twitter Spaces, this is your chance. If you want to ask him a question directly, not face to face, but spaces to spaces technically. Go ahead and throw up a request if you have a question, and I'll bring you up. If not, I got a couple last 5 questions. I'm gonna ask one, and I'll give you guys time to do that. Here we go. Fuck, marry, kill, but it's not. It's not people. It's FUD, Flip, or HODL. We got some NFT projects on the chopping block. We're gonna flood one, we're gonna flip one, we're gonna hodl one. I want to hear why. This
Sure.
is so much fun to do, especially with content creators, because we've all
Can
covered
I can I
projects.
flip them all or?
No, cannot flip them.
Okay.
You gotta flip, FUD, and hodl.
Okay.
So let's see. I think the rules are it's got to be around the same floor price, so they're all within 10% of each other's floor prices. And will you tell me for one of them? Will you tell me one of your favorite projects? It doesn't mean your number one, but a favorite project of yours.
I mean, the no-brainer is just Yuga. You just go
Yuga.
for, yeah, that's the
How about the
cheap
mutant apes?
one.
Mutant apes for one of
Yeah,
them. We'll do
yeah.
mutant apes. We'll do Azuki, and I feel like Doodles always makes it in here. I feel like I should change it up, but Doodles is just interesting because it's so different. We'll do Doodles, Azuki, and mutant apes. FUD, Flip, or HODL.
It's easy. Yeah, Hodl, Mutant, Flip, Azuki, and FUD the shit out of Doodles.
Why, bro? Why are you fudding Doodles for?
I don't know. I mean, I never really got into Doodles. Great project, like they're doing cool things, but I mean, it's like the popular thing to FUD them right now, especially. But I missed the boat. So if I missed the boat, a
Yeah.
project's like dead to me. That's how I look at it.
At least it's honest. I love that shit. Parker, we'll get to your question in a second. Steven, I have Steven up. Steven Snodgrass. What's up, fam? What you
What's
got? What you
happening?
got?
Yeah. So, CryptoGorilla, I
Wait, can
was
you hear them?
curious
Yeah.
about, I
You
mean,
can?
it's
Oh, wait, I
cool
can't
to
hear them.
hear
Okay, well, you'll have to
some
tell
of
me what they're
your
saying.
involvement in the FTX. And I was just curious what that was like to accidentally involve yourself in what turned out to be fraud. But, moving from there as growing content creators in the space, I'm curious what your thoughts are on sharing, not necessarily shilling. I don't know what the best word to use is, spotlighting different projects that may have reached out to you, may have not reached out to you. What maybe you learned through the process of working with FTX, and how you can kind of use that to help you grow in the future and to leave a more impactful impression on people.
Sure. Sorry, you said you didn't hear his question, right?
Dude, it was to dead silent. I have no idea why.
Okay.
It worked
Yeah.
earlier today, but
So he asked about FTX. What was it like working with FTX and being like involved in all that, and how are you using that going forward to like make decisions, and when projects approach you, and how do you judge like talking about them? So the
yeah.
FTX thing, I mean, I don't think anybody could have predicted it. I don't really see it as a problem. For me having done like that commercial for them back then, they were one of the top. Sorry, I'm just gonna put it on the ground. She's gonna scream. Yeah, they were like the second biggest exchange in the world. So who could have predicted that? And then just so people know, like I saw my numbers, they completely wasted their money on probably on everyone, but even on me. I think I had like 51 people click, only one person actually put money in,
Yeah,
and it
it's
was a
hard
very
as
low.
fuck. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
hard to convert people. I was sponsored by Webull, and it was the same shit. I got like a few people to sign up, and I was like, "Damn, this is
yeah.
hard." And then I was like, "How many times have I done it?" And I was like, 0. I was like, "Okay, that makes sense."
Well, most people, there's like even an app you can have that somebody identifies where the brand sponsor is, and then it'll auto skip the part where there's like a sponsorship.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I mean, nobody wanted to use FTX for NFTs. It was like
Mm.
it was like off chain. I don't know
I
how it was
remember,
done. It was
yeah.
very
I
weird.
didn't trade
Yeah.
NFTs on FTX either.
And then, so yeah, I don't personally see it as a problem. Oh, my camera's losing its. There you go. Yeah, going forward, I think a lot of people are going to consider who they work with, definitely, including myself. Like you're gonna, like I'll tell you, I get offered a ton of money, like plenty of deals. I just say no to all of them. As for projects, same thing. I got offered thousands of dollars to talk about projects. I don't do it. When I first started, I did 4 reviews where I said my true feelings about the project. I identified the good and the bad. Those videos are still up. You can go see it to make sure I'm telling the truth. So I did 4. There was way more than double that offered to pay me. They wanted to pay me. I did the research on their project. I sent them my script before posting, and they turned down the deal because I was so negative. And I'm like, well, dude, I'm not going to pump your project. Like, this is my feelings. As for projects approaching me, I don't do deals for videos. Sometimes I'll tell them like I'm going to talk about you. So it's fine. That was my plan though, especially if I approach them. I don't do any deals like give me whitelist for my group. They just give it to me, I guess, because I'm me, or like, they want to collab with my group. They want people to either
Looks
retweet.
good for them.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't do any deals for videos. So some of them insist, and I just tell them like to F off. I had a really big one recently, like try to tell me, oh, you got to post on this date and then edit it and put it on Twitter. Like I got a little bit upset, and then but they immediately said like, oh shit, like we didn't like it was cool. No, I don't do any deals for videos or anything, so I don't have that problem. I will take sponsorships. I have some coming up in the future, but it's like projects that I met the founders multiple times. I know who's working with them. They're VC backed, not project products. So it's an actual product. I won't do sponsorships from any projects, even though I get offered a lot of these deals. As for like advising with a project, like I see no issue with that. Even if they want to use my name, I try to be careful who uses my name because they want to pretend like I'm part of their project or put my face on their website. But it's like a consulting gig, right? I'm helping them with like, oh, you should be doing this way. You should be. I even tell them like I even shit on their art sometimes and like, hey, this art looks shitty. Like make it better. So yeah, I don't see an issue with that. To me, it's just like a consulting gig.
Same with me. I kind of in agreement with you there, and especially with the reviews. Like I remember I started doing the reviews early on, and I did a bunch of them before like people started approaching me for reviews. And I remember in the beginning I was like, okay, like this can work, but only if I can actually say what I think. And I remember the first one just was by luck. I think they were called Cyber Waifu, some kind of anime project. And they were cool. And they were like, I was like, look, I'm gonna be honest. If I say something here and you don't like it, it's still going to go up. So like, if you're cool with that, then I'm fine, but you have to pay me up front because I don't trust you.
Yeah.
And
always get the money up front. Yeah.
And as soon as I realized that they would do that and they were down, I was like, perfect. Like this is good now because there's no pressure. They already paid me. I'm not going to change my answer. I don't give a shit. They're going to do what they're going to do regardless of my video. And that was the only way it could work. Cause how you were saying, like the only people who lose are literally your audience. If you're the one doing undisclosed deals and stuff like that. And there was a shit ton of that going on, dude, especially really, really early on the summer. 2021, that was true degen hour. I remember even like unpaid, like not even, didn't have anything to do with like back end deals, but just like influencers with like Alex Becker. I remember the craziest shit. Like he's like buying Doge pounds, like talking about him in all his videos. Each video is getting like 500,000 views. And I was just like, holy fuck, if he just picks your project because he likes it, it's over. Like you're done. You're good to go for a year.
Even when I buy something, I'll say in the video, like, yo, I bought 4 of these. And if you pump the price, I'm dumping on you. Like I make sure to say that because I don't want to get called like, oh, you're pumping, dumping on your audience.
It's tough, dude. It's a really tough line to kind of go there. That's why I was kind of glad I didn't make much trading content just because I was able to buy and not stress about buying and selling because I didn't make as much of the trading content. But it was kind of fun because since I wasn't in there, it was fun because I could consume people's content and actually learn something from them. It's like I remember I would watch you. I watched NFT Verse, Giancarlo, Brett Malinowski. Y'all were probably my first. I think y'all were probably my first wave. NFT Nate, I remember he was the first content creator to reach out. So like shout out Nate, he's a beast. And he was really early with the podcast as well. I know you guys talked like over a year ago, I think.
Yeah, the first person I kind of wanted to have my channel be like because I saw his growth was Brett. I saw him go from like 1,000 to now he's at like 250K or something.
Yeah.
And then I forget who the first one I spoke to. I spoke to probably Amir very early on, and then Ryan Ryan is the one who's like, he helped me. He was like, yo, make a private group. And I was like, oh, I don't want to start charging people. He's like, no, dude, just open a Discord, like just try it out. And even before the group. So Ryan helped me a lot. Like, dude, it helps a lot. If you're in the YouTube game, find people in your niche and reach out. Like, we all talk, and you could warn each other about rug pulls. You could warn each other about, scammers. You could share collab connections. Like, there's a lot of benefits to having these connections.
Yeah, it dried up a little bit. I will say some of the group chats became a little bit tedious to be in during this, this dry spell. But especially when things were just heating up, when it's a cyclical market, the group chats are fun because you find out things that you wouldn't have known just because everyone's tapped into different people. And it's funny, like, who is tapped into who, like, to see where people get content or information from. You're like, wow, I never would have got that information if that random person hadn't had that random connection and just decided to put it into a group chat. And that's been really cool to be part of that too. And also shout out, Steve. I know I couldn't hear your question, but thanks for coming up and asking your question. I have a couple. I have like one more, and we'll finish
I got plenty of. However long you want to go, ask away.
You're the king. You're the king. Have you bought anything cool with your money that was in the real world, and have you bought anything for anyone else? And like, how did that feel? Basically, like, you were able to generate a lot of money, bought a business. And so I'm sure you bought a couple things to, kind of like make you happy and have a little bit of material success feelings and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, for my work, I bought like a nice camera. I bought a new laptop that I use as like I have a burner laptop that I could click. I get sent links all the time, right? As do you. So you have to be careful. So I only click it from that laptop. This place. So I always lived in like, random apartments, or I lived with like I said, one guy living in the living room. So this place, I spoiled myself with my apartment when I upgraded. I'm leasing, I don't own it. I haven't bought much. Like, dude, I want a Porsche, I want all this stuff, but I'm like, don't buy anything. Like, just keep my money in crypto and NFTs, cash some out, and then invest. Buying for other people, I guess I bought. I bought my parents and my brother. I bought both my parents like a Mac, and then like the iMac tower, or not the tower, the screen one, and my brother like a laptop, brand new laptop.
Dude, that's fucking cool. How did that feel buying them something versus yourself?
Dude, awesome. Yeah, I remember. So it was my mom's birthday, so I got her the iMac, but it's funny. It was my dad who's always wanted it, but I planned it. I brought her the iMac. And then I was just like, oh, I felt bad. I'm getting her such a big gift. So I got you something small. And then I just rolled up with a second, like the box all wrapped with the bow and shit. Yeah, it was nice.
Oh man, dude, that's so cool. I've always thought about that, like being able to provide something for your parents. Like, I feel like that's a feeling everyone should strive to do. If you like your parents, at least you should strive to do that. I think that'd be something really cool. Cause that's something that you really can't repay that. I feel like once you get to a certain age, maybe you start to be able to think that way about your parents, where you're like, holy shit, that was a lot they did. And like, we blame them for a lot of shit growing up, but that was hard, especially without TikTok, bro. Like, TikTok's helping this generation. Like, so many, like I feel more prepared to go into parenthood than I would without like TikTok, because people are sharing all their stories and like how people do stuff.
It's funny, dude. Like, I'm in Canada, taxes suck here. Like, I'm going to pay up to 50% after pulling it out for my company, which is 22%. Dude, I get wrecked. Like, my crypto gains get wrecked. And, I get asked all the time. I got asked today, like, hey, why don't you move to Dubai? Why don't you? And I'm just like, oh, my parents are here. And I watched this YouTube video. I forget, it was like on a podcast. I forget the guy's name, but
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. He's like, how many more times, or how often do you see your parent? That one. Yeah. He's like, he asked the dude, he's like, okay, your parents are 70, they live till 80. How often do you see them? Twice a year. Okay. You only get, everybody's, oh, I have 10 more years to see my parents. He's like, no, you get 20 more times to see your parents. And that just fucked with me. So like, I see my parents minimum once per week. I go for dinner. And yeah, I think it's more important. I'd rather, pay the taxes and see my parents than go live somewhere else and save on taxes.
Damn, dude, that's fucking beautiful. Honestly, that really makes my heart warm to hear someone say that. To be honest, that's cool. And I think as I've gotten older, I've been able to tap into that side of me a little bit more compassionate and empathetic. I know growing up for me, there was a lot of what does that mean?
Oh, that's my cat, dude. I told you, she gets pissed and she screams.
Oh shit. I was gonna say, just like growing up, it was hard in like my early 20s. I guess I am my early 20s, but like 20, 21, 22 were tough, just because just transitioning out of being a kid, basically living in their parents' house and stuff, and they're basically transitioning out of being a parent back to who they were before. Which for my mom, she was 22 when she had me or something, so like she literally was not a person yet. She just like became a mom straight out of being a teenager. So it's kind of cool watching that, like seeing them pick up hobbies again and like spend time not stressing about like soccer practice and dumb shit like that. and that's been really cool. And it's taken like multiple years of kind of like chopping away almost at getting more comfortable, enjoying time with them. I feel like that's hard to do for a while when you're making that transition out, you know, because it's like still sticky. You still have certain feelings about something that they said a few years ago or a way they made you feel. And I'm kind of looking forward to that as I get older, because I've seen a lot of people, especially on social media, reconcile with their parents. Like seeing like Gary Vee like has such a close knit relationship with like his parents, and like kind of seeing that someone who's a big public figure like that is cool for me to see, just because I didn't think that was possible till I saw people doing it like on social media, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, man, that's a good thing to point out. I never thought about that about Gary, but it's like a very good positive influence for like the family unit to stay together.
Yeah, dude, just to like know what's important, because like yes, the NFT stuff's important, career stuff's important, but like when you really zoom out far enough on your deathbed, that's not going to be the things that come to your mind. Like you really are going to think about your connections. Like at the end of a TV show, I'm so sad because the TV show's over, but I'm really sad because like I got attached to these fucking characters and their connections to each other, and like I'm sad to let that go. And so I don't know, it's fucking beautiful to me. But dude, I had a great time talking to you. I feel like we covered, I feel like a million different topics. Like I feel fucking satiated. Like I'm stoked. I had a great time talking to you. And yeah, do you have anything you want to shout out? Like last minute, you got anything coming up? Is people you want to shout out or?
Not really. Subscribe to my YouTube. Follow me on Twitter. Yeah, I'm not gonna launch a project, so I don't have anything to try to shill. Yeah. And I'll launch an open edition just for you. There you go.
Let's fucking go.
And I'll put a burn and 7 different colors. And yeah. No, I appreciate you having me on, and thank you everybody who listened. I'll look at the camera for 2 seconds. I looked at my screen the whole time.
Oh yeah, dude. That's awesome. I appreciate you coming on. And guys, everyone who's been here, Spaces people especially, shout out to you guys. Again, bottom right corner, retweets, likes, all the things help. YouTube fam, thank you so much for being here. Code word, get to the end. I guess we just go gorilla. We just go gorilla. We send it.
Is this for a POAP or what is this for?
It's just a code word to see like who made it to the end. I just think it's fun to kind of. Wow. You remember people. Like I don't know about you, but like I remember certain people who watch my videos every time and leave a comment every time. You start to recognize their face.
Yeah, I'm gonna start probably doing the POAPs in the video though, and then just raffle like a free NFT. Yeah, for that's like I'll do 100, whoever gets it, and then
that's a good idea. Sweet, right on, man. Well, listen again. Thanks for coming on. This was great, guys. Until next time, continue on your Joyage, continue to learn, and be grateful you're alive watching this YouTube video.